Rich Orris and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 12 days to go. Water treatment plants can get overloaded by excess water. Simply using less water helps keep oceans and rivers cleaner. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. And yes, if you hear this voice, that means there is no Annie Frey on the Annie Frey Show. But welcome anyway. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in today. This is 2 Mondays in a row that you've got to deal with me, and you had a Friday thrown in as well.
That was fun.
The rest of the crew is here. Mr. Wiggins, welcome back. We missed you on Friday.
Yeah, I was out enjoying the nice weather at a soccer tournament in Fenton.
And in Fenton, okay.
It was.
It's not Vegas, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, totally agree. It was great. I mean, what a nice weekend we've had. I mean, across the board, pretty much nice the whole time.
And this week is going to be gorgeous. Today is the worst day of the week. At sunny and 73, it's going to be in the upper 70s for the rest of this week.
Well, so that's not the worst. That means today's the best. It's getting a little too warm.
Oh, okay. No, I'm with Hannah. Yeah. No, I'll take mid to upper 70s.
Is the perfect temperature.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's too warm.
Too warm. Correct.
Yep, that'll make me sweat.
Making me sweat.
It'll make me sweat.
Okay.
You got to get 73, 74. But
well, I can understand why Hannah says that's the perfect temperature, because whatever the studio is right now, she's freezing.
It's frigid in here.
So yes, and we're not just never mind. I started to go somewhere with an off-air conversation, but I'm going to stop now. So I caught myself. The words were coming, and I felt them. They had made it to the back of the throat and went, nope, stop right there. We're not going to do that. So I hope, did everybody have a good Easter? Ryan, you had a long Easter weekend.
It was great. Easter was, as usual, church in the morning and then hanging out with family in the afternoon. Got the kids that are the perfect age for Easter egg hunts.
Nice.
So, still enjoying that. I will say, though, yesterday, allergies kicked in. And I don't know if it's for me or for everybody or what, but, man, it is all of a sudden bad news. Well, I am heavily medicated.
Hop on the Zyrtec train.
Fexofenadine, but close, yeah.
A what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Effects of who?
It's
Brad,
Allegra.
Okay, good. Thanks. That's much better. How was Easter weekend?
It was a good Easter weekend. Went to a Battlehawks game on Saturday.
Yeah, my son worked that game.
They won in overtime, which was a really super exciting game. And my wife is a football fan now. She's never liked football, but she loves football now. She wanted to give a shout out to Shorty from Hot 104.1, who's kind of like your host when you're at a Battlehawks game.
No way, I didn't know that.
In-game host.
Okay.
And she said he is the party. So yeah, that was my thing about the Battlehawks game is it's a party and there's a football game going on.
You gotta love it.
Which is a lot of fun. And then Easter Sunday, we did our Easter Sunday service and had dinner with my parents in the afternoon and just had a really good day.
Miss Hannah, how did your weekend turn out?
I had a great weekend. A lot of my friends were home from school, so I got to see them and have the friend aspect of it. Spent a lot of time with family. It was a really, really good weekend.
Nice. My daughter was home this weekend. She decided to stay over last night.
Oh, extra time?
Exactly. So she's driving back right now. She's on her way to UCM. By the way, Brad, my chief operating officer is very excited that you went to MOBAP because his son is playing MOBAP at football. So
okay.
There you go,
Bill. He's playing football at MOBAP?
He's playing football at MOBAP. Yes, he's on the football team right now. I started to say he's playing right now, but I don't know what he's doing right now. He could be doing all kinds of things. So who knows? Anybody have ham for Easter?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I had it yesterday, and I just had it 20 minutes ago again.
There you go. I was planning on making a ham sandwich before I left the house this morning, but I just could not get going today. I had an Easter hangover. Maybe it was a ham hangover I had going on. We had everybody over at the house yesterday, and we are the early stages of Easter egg, trying to figure it all out. So my grandson, my niece's son, and her daughter were all there. So I had two 15, 16-month-olds trying to figure out what is this Easter egg thing. So we had a lot of plastic ones, and this whole picking it up and putting it in the basket, it caught on with one. The other was like, I'd rather pick them up and throw them across the yard. She was more into that. So, but it was a lot of fun. We have a ton of ham left. My wife says to me yesterday morning, I just don't feel like we have enough food. I said, Jen, every
Says
year.
every wife ever.
I know. And she says that every year. She's like, I just don't feel like we have enough food. So we got we got a lemon and a chocolate chip bundt cake from Nothing Bundt Cakes. By the way, if you haven't had Nothing Bundt Cakes, it's crack. It's awesome. I mean, it's a good addiction to have. Not maybe for your waistline, but for your taste buds, it's awesome. So she bought the smaller one. She normally gets the 12-inch ones. She bought the 8-inch ones, and she's just looking at them, and she's like, it's just not going to be big enough. We're going to have more. We need more. We had like half of each of them were eaten. So we had like a whole bundt cake left by the time we got done.
Thanks for bringing it in.
You're welcome. I'm here to not share, obviously. So then we end up with this huge ham, and I'm like, why? Like, why do we have that much ham? My wife makes this French toast thing. I don't know what it is. It's a baked French toast that she puts in this big casserole-like pan. That normally she makes two. This year, for whatever reason, she only made one. So my daughter was saying to me during the dinner, she goes, that French toast thing looks good. Wish I would have had the opportunity to have some of it. And I'm like, hey, don't complain to me. I went last. I didn't get it either. So sorry for you. First world problems, right? We didn't have enough of fatty foods.
Speaking of first world problems.
Yes.
Nothing bundt cake makes me so mad.
Why?
Because why has it taken us this long? It's a bundt cake. It is perfect. It is one of the greatest things I've ever eaten is that brand of bundt cake.
Okay.
Why has it taken us this long to figure out how to perfect something as simple as a bundt cake?
I don't know, but we got ours at Nothing Bundt Cake in Cottleville, and I'm ready to pull up a chair at their restaurant.
I know.
Like I need to pull up a chair, right? But yeah, I agree with you. It's awesome.
They should have some sort of program where on your birthday you can pay $50 and you just sit there and they just like throw it at your face. And like every different kind.
I believe on your birthday they do give you a free bundt cake.
Do they really?
Yes.
Is it like the buntini, that little, like the little muffin thing?
Probably.
Or is it
if it's a free one. Yeah.
It's a free one, yeah.
It's
the first one's always
free. It's a
free.
good serving size.
On your birthday, we'll give you a free $60 cake.
Exactly.
Wow.
Come on in.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's going to go, but yeah.
$60 cake.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It is awesome, though. So I'm all full and ready to go. I'm trying to, I'm not fasting today, but I haven't eaten so far. And it's looking like I'm probably going to go that way maybe for the rest of the day because I got a county council meeting tonight at 7, and I got to go back I started at my office this morning, came here. I got to go back to my office after this, So I probably won't have the chance to eat anything until after the council meeting tonight. So God willing.
Us talking about bundt cakes just really helps
my
you
mouth
out.
is super watery right now.
We don't want to talk about bundt cakes or Easter casserole or
Did
carrot
anybody
cake.
have funeral potatoes this weekend?
Yes, I did.
Love funeral
I
potatoes.
don't even know what funeral
So
potatoes
good.
are.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah. It's the cheesy potatoes with like the cornflakes on top.
They're diced.
Yep.
Oh,
So
Brad,
good.
don't tell me you haven't.
You have.
You've had to. Really?
Everybody
Brad's
has
never been
had
to a
it.
funeral, apparently.
Well, I'm so sorry. Normally, it's the potatoes that they bring after the funeral that I sort of say celebrate. You don't celebrate with the family. You mourn with
celebration
the
of life.
family. Yes, thank you. I'll take that. That's a very Bally funeral thing of you today. So it was there yesterday. We get to have it on Easter, on Thanksgiving, and on Christmas is when I get the funeral potatoes.
You gotta add it in
assuming
more.
someone doesn't die, right? So I would love that. Yesterday, though, was a very sad day for me because normally Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I get green bean casserole. We talked about what's your favorite Easter food. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I said the green bean casserole.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what we did not have yesterday?
Green bean casserole.
So my wife decides.
Did she listen to the segment on Friday where I said I had a vendetta against it?
Evidently, she is with you. But she decided to make asparagus.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now, I don't have a problem with asparagus. I'm not adding that to the list of foods I hate. I like asparagus, especially when she bakes it in the oven with this olive oil and then puts this Parmesan cheese on top of it, which makes it kind of unhealthy, but I like it that way. So I was like, wait, we're not having the green bean casserole? No, I didn't want to do that this year. Wait, why? But we have an 80-pound ham.
He's like, but why?
Why couldn't we have had a 20-pound ham and green bean casserole? I know. I'm like, but the green bean casserole. We all love the green bean casserole. Evidently not all. So I was told we'll have it at Thanksgiving. I'm like, that's months away. Do we really have to wait that long? So I got to figure out how to make green bean casserole.
Don't ask me. I'm not good at it.
I'm just really good at eating it, not necessarily at making it, but we will figure it out. So anyway, I digress. We got on that food thing, and I just took a turn and couldn't find my way home. But today has already been a crazy day. We were just talking about on Friday. Ryan, we missed you, by the way. The X's and O's crowd was very upset that you were not here
Oh, good. I'm glad
on
to hear
Friday. So you were definitely missed from that standpoint, if not just from a general love of Ryan Wiggins.
Yeah, love it. All of that.
So we are back today, and we have Wiggins America, and we are going to talk about the abortion pill thing with Texas.
Yeah,
Dueling
injunctions that
Yes.
have happened over the weekend. Kind of big news, and it is. I've been researching this all morning because you pull back a layer and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper because there's been so much happen since Roe versus Wade was overturned.
Right.
That you almost have to know the whole history up until now. But I'll try to explain that quickly in 5 minutes, roughly, for Wiggins America.
So we'll jump into that a little bit later on in the hour. We talked about on Friday that the midday shift is the best shift in radio to have because that's when everything happens. Little did I realize we were sort of Nostradamus on that because here we are talking about yet another shooting. This one not at a school, this one at a bank. So we've had a police officer that has been shot in critical condition, another police officer shot. We're not sure of the condition of that police officer, but evidently that officer is not in critical condition. 4 people at the bank were killed, and the shooter was killed. So 5 total.
And this is in Louisville, Kentucky.
This is in Louisville,
not
Kentucky.
Here. Yeah.
Yes, Louisville, Kentucky, just so we're clear on all that. Because I know Andrew Weber was on the feed saying, I missed this whole shooting thing. Evidently, there was another shooting that happened in Louisville. Bad day to be in Louisville, by the way. So this one was at a community college. Details of that one are really sketchy right now.
Fox just sent out an article. I've got some more details on that.
Fire away.
They said that the shooting happened at 11:30 a.m. at the corner of South 8th Street and
So
West
that was
Chestnut.
after
So it was
the
after
bank
the one.
shooting.
Yeah, because I was listening to the press conference and one of the reporters asked about this particular shooting. So I didn't know, it was all very new at that point. And then they said that one person was shot and then the suspects are at large right now.
So they had.
So it was
they
one
think
shot, one
for
killed.
sure, but they're not sure about the
Right.
second shooter. The second shooter was sketchy at the time,
Mhm.
so they were going to review the school cameras and see if they could find that. So there
Right.
was one dead.
There
at
was
the
one
community
dead and
college?
one injured.
Okay.
And they said the suspects are at large, so they used plural. And then the other thing that they said is that these two shootings were not related.
So the Kentucky governor had friends who worked at that bank where the first shooting occurred at 8:30 in the morning. So, and two of his friends were killed. Another was injured. 8 total injured there, 5 total killed, including the shooter. And 2 of those injuries being police officers. These police officers responded to this in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Amazing response time. And I'm going to go out on a limb and guess, because we don't have it confirmed yet. These officers were probably patrol officers. This is not a SWAT team that all got together, responded, and showed up
Not in
with
3 minutes.
shields and all of the helmets and the vesting. This is probably a cop on the beat who showed up quickly, and they went in there, and they took the shooter down. Our police officers cannot get enough praise for how they have responded to these shootings. Granted, these are way too many shootings that we're seeing, and I'm not going to get into the gun debate right now, but just the shootings themselves, I'm still trying to figure out what goes on in your mind where you say, I have an issue. I'm angry at something, and my way of acting out on that anger is to take a gun and go in and shoot somewhere. You're not going to get guns out. There's over 300 million guns in this country, and there's more that's being made every day. You're not going to get guns out of America. So if you think that's a legitimate debate, you're just fooling yourself if you think that's going to happen. But the bigger part that I'm curious about is, where did we get to this point where you think that is a okay response to deal with your anger? We have lost something as a people if that's the response that we have when we get angry.
Man, Mike, it's like listening to a mirror. I was thinking the exact same thing this morning, and I mean almost word for word. I mean, I can't believe listening to you say that. Why are we not asking the question, what is wrong with people now that we have so many more people deciding, you know what the solution to my problem is? To go kill people.
Right.
And sometimes random people.
Yeah,
not
people I
you
don't even know.
And so to hear that, and with the gun debate, it's almost like you need to get past the gun debate exactly in the way that you just said, which is to say, take this seriously enough to stop saying that solution over and over, because that isn't the solution. It's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So if you really, really want to help, start asking a different question, because that question is answered. Now, you can nip at the edges of it and say, we're going to ban this or ban that. You know, that may be what you think is a solution, but it's not the solution to this problem.
It's a new thing that we have in this country, not new, I would say, over the last 10 years. Suicide by cop is a whole new thing that we have come into, where people go in saying, and the transgender person who went in and shot up the school evidently had written a thing, I'm going to die today. Like, they knew they were not going to make it out. That's suicide by cop.
Yeah.
They knew going in, I am going to die today, but I'm not going down alone. I'm going to bring somebody with me. How did we get there? How did we get there to where people think that is the solution? That's the question that I would like for our brighter minds than me to dissect for me and help me understand what's going on. I have some thoughts on that, and we may get into that a little bit later on. But it's one of those times, again, where we just need to thank our cops for being there in front. Thank our dispatchers, by the way, who got everybody to where they needed to be. Those are some unsung heroes who have to be calm under pressure, just like the police officers, to get the help to where it needs to be. So thanks to all of them for standing in the gap for all of us. It is the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam. Thanks for listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. He's the bagel loan guy. And if you are looking to refinance your house, here's the deal. And the economy right now is a little bit shaky, and credit card debt is going up through the roof. Interest rates are out of control. Have you considered, depending on what kind of situation you're in, possibly doing a cash out refinance from your home? Maybe you have the value in your home that you can pull out, lower that rate that you're going to be paying on that credit card and get rid of that credit card debt right away. Maybe it's another type of improvement that you need to do to your house. The second time we refinanced with Stewart's American Mortgage and the bagel loan, it was so that we could do a cash out to replace the deck on the back of our house. It was shaking when you walked on it. It had to be replaced. I went to Stewie. I trust Stewie, and I trust you in Stewie's hands. Call him or text him and mention the Annie Frey Show when you reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. My friend Stewie is waiting right by his phone for your call or text. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. SidingExpress.com.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we're looking for brave clients who've been injured and are ready to stand beside us in our fight to improve the safety of our community.
Call Onderlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
The average family home takes on 40 pounds of dust per year. Dust and debris can worsen allergies, asthma, and cause discomfort in your home. Call Zero Res at 314-474-2020 and get $75 off any of their air duct cleaning packages. 314-474-2020. Zero Res.
Are you thankful for the first responders in your community? Then nominate a local department and let us feed them a great meal. Compliments of Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here. Visit 971talk.com/contests and nominate someone today.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
We'd walk to church on Sunday morning, race barefoot back to Johnson's fence.
That's pretty good.
You're talking about our Route 3?
That's it. You got to love Brooks and Dunn at 12:30. It just makes your day a little bit better. It's going to be 73 and sunny. It's a great day to head down that red dirt road.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
Man, that's professional radio stuff.
Thanks very much. We can hit post a little bit later. Stacks and stacks of hot wax like we talked about last Monday.
Yeah.
We're just keeping, consistency of how we go. So, hey, I did want to mention, I started, I don't think it's really termed working out, but I started as a client at this place called OsteoStrong. He's got a place in O'Fallon in St. Peter's, and it's a place that you work out. You only do it once a week, and it helps your bone strength. Osteo, right? So
OsteoStrong.
Yes,
I'm familiar with their porosis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool program. So last week I'm in there, and the majority of their clients tend to be older, and a lot of older ladies. So looking at osteoporosis, probably already got some of that already setting in. So I'm sitting in the center talking with this lady. She's like, "Why are you here? You're a big, strong guy." And I was like, God, you're good for my ego. Can I just come back and talk to you?
You're like looking at Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Big, strong guy.
Big, strong guy.
Big, strong guy. Thanks very much. So obviously she had cataracts. But beyond that, she was... So she goes...
I think you're at the wrong doctor, man.
I think so. She says... She goes, I'm 70. That's why I'm here. So we get talking about me being on the radio from time to time here. And she goes... So when are you on? I said, I'm on Friday. So, tune in and check it out. And she goes, I'm going to turn you on. And then just the jokes started from there, right? It was like, okay, that was very funny. So this morning So this morning I was there, and I was just starting the workout when she was leaving. And she stopped by and she goes, hey, just wanted to tell you, I turned you on Friday. I was like, you are so funny. So you get to pick up listeners a little bit of everywhere. So I'm trying to help grow the Annie Frey Show one listener at a time as we go. So here in about 10 years, it's going to be huge from where it's going. So
great.
Thanks. I just thought that was really funny, and she's the nicest lady too. She was so nice. Whenever you go to a place like that, you run into some folks that you have no connection to whatsoever. And it's funny how you can just make personal connections when you sit down and say hi and start talking to people. And I just appreciated having a conversation like that. Hey, by the way, we didn't even talk about our YouTube poll of the day. So I'm sorry, Hannah, I completely skipped that, because before we even said word one, we already had people who were engaged in the poll and posting online. So our question of the day is...
What is the most likely 2024 presidential matchup? Trump versus Biden, Trump versus someone else, DeSantis versus Biden, or DeSantis versus someone else? So that is a ton of options, so I expect to see a lot of comments on that. You can comment on our Annie Frey Show live stream. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Getter, Rumble, all the places. So you can leave a comment of what you think the most likely 2024 presidential matchup will be, and we'll talk about that at 2:45.
So get your votes in right now. That's better than the whole Peeps thing that we had on Friday.
Yes.
So I'm feeling much better. At least it fits the talk radio a whole lot better. Hey, we're going to do Wiggins America coming up here in about 8 minutes or so. And Ryan's got a very good research topic that we're going to talk about there. But I just wanted to point out that coming up today at 5:30 Eastern time, so 4:30 our time, in 4 hours from now, the Nashville City Council, Metropolitan Council, is going to vote whether or not they are going to send Justin Jones back to the legislature. This is new for me. I didn't know this could happen. So to recap, you go back to the Tennessee legislature, and you had Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, who all led the chance for calling out gun control measures. Two of them, the two Justins, got sent home from the legislature, from the House of Representatives. They kicked them out. And the lady got to stay. And Brad and I were talking about this a little bit the other day of, look, it really should have been an all or nothing.
Yeah.
But when you vote out the two black guys and leave the white lady, that just screams, attack me. And they did, right? So they've been attacked by this the whole time.
And the problem is, too, let me add, is that you had one vote that was different.
It was just one person.
You blame, the entire Tennessee legislature thinks this way. And it was really one person who had flipped.
Right.
So, just for context.
She had a attorney
Yes.
who lobbied her case where the other guys didn't. And her attorney actually said, look, she didn't do as much as they did, meaning I guess she didn't use the bullhorn like the two of them used. But at the end of the day, this is not about gun control at all.
It has nothing to do with that topic.
No.
It has nothing to do with it. Has everything to do with their behavior in that Capitol building.
It has to do with the rules of the decorum of the chamber. That's exactly it. And that's where it begins and ends. And granted, she didn't do as much, but you came to the dais uninvited and you started ranting and raving with a bullhorn about all this stuff and getting the folks up in the balcony involved in all of this as well. And that's what this is about. The issue could have been anything. It doesn't matter. It could have been, Peeps are better than Reese's, which is crazy, by the way, but not what they were talking about. It doesn't matter the topic. It matters the fact that you broke the rules of the chamber. And there is a penalty to be paid for that. And they broke them in the biggest way possible that they could have broken them, short of being violent
right
with other
in
people.
The shadow of January 6, 2021.
Right.
I mean, probably literally the same people who were yelling that was an insurrection. And they're not exactly the same, but I mean, come on. You don't want people to compare those two things?
Right.
I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they are very similar. There's a lot of similarities.
So they've kicked these two guys out and said, you're out of the legislature. Well, now the Nashville City Council is talking about tonight, they are going to look at voting them back in. I didn't know they could do that, for one, but it makes sense that there would be a process and a procedure for sending them back. So they're supposed to do that vote tonight at 4:30 our time, 5:30 Eastern time, and they're going to talk about sending them back. Here's the thing. Even if they do, the legislature does not have to seat them.
Oh, really?
No. So if you remember just a couple of years ago in D.C., they went in, the Democrats stripped one of the Republican House members, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They stripped him of all of his committees. So he's basically just some guy who shows up and he's a vote, but he doesn't have anything else that he gets to do while he's there.
That sounds like Adam Schiff now.
Yeah, well, that's true. They basically just took all the powers away. Well, for this guy, they completely kicked him out. So even if Nashville sends him back, they don't have to put him on anything. And I think they can even keep him from voting. So he doesn't even have the power to vote. So he would be there because the people who wanted him there are going to send him back, but they're not going to seat him. So he could just be hanging out in the Tennessee legislature, and he has access to stuff that general public don't have, but that's where pretty much it ends for him.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say they do send him back just to be, just to stick it to the man or whatever you want to call it. Just from listening to you tell this, because I didn't know this was going to happen, is this a situation where now there is a quote unquote vacant seat, and so the city council is appointed to fill that seat, and they're considering just putting him back in it?
And I think that's exactly what it is. But Shelby County, which is in Memphis, where the other Justin is from, Justin Pearson, right? Justin Pearson is from there. Supposedly, Memphis hasn't talked about doing that yet. Shelby County hasn't said that they're going to do it. So I don't know what they're going to do. I had seen something that they're going to be charged with choosing Pearson's successor. So I don't know if they're going to reappoint him like they're doing in Nashville, or if they're going to put somebody else in. So it will be interesting to see how that works out. But it goes back to kind of what we were talking about in the last break of craziness abounds all over the place right now. And there is no normal expectation of human behavior that you used to have.
What's interesting about this is because your rights to do something like this is guaranteed by your level of outrage. The more angry you are, the more excused you are to do it.
It's like, it's okay. I was really pissed.
Right.
What?
Well, yeah. You don't understand my feelings.
Yeah.
That's because that really is the defense for everything.
Right.
Now.
It is an emotional response. And we say, okay, well, that's valid, and therefore you can violate the rules and norms and decorum. And what people don't realize is, at least I'm assuming they don't realize, I feel like maybe there are some people out there that realize this, but when you violate the rules and the norms, if you don't have rules and norms, you don't have anything.
You don't.
And so they want something to change so badly. This is their emotional state. We want this to change so badly. We're willing to violate the rules and the norms and burn this whole thing down so that this one thing changes. But there's no thought of what effect that's going to have down the road on different things, like these two gentlemen and the one lady,
right?
They were in a perfect position to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. They wanted to pass gun control. That's what they want. That's what this was. That was what their whole shouting about was, all that. So rather than doing what you're supposed to do, which is draft and introduce legislation,
right,
which you can do because you are a legislature.
Yes.
Instead, you decide to basically raid the House floor and scream and shout and lead a protest inside the House floor and get yourself kicked out. Now you're no longer in a position to introduce legislation. But what would be calculated on their end is now they have national political power because they are martyrs.
And they are fundraising left and right off this whole thing. Do you remember Obama's favorite or famous expression of elections have consequences, right? Well, in Tennessee, it is a supermajority Republican. So I guess these folks look at, hey, we're not going to be able to follow the normal procedure as Brad was laying out, and we're going to have to do something different. Okay, well, let's all become crybabies, right? And let's get all the adults out of the room, and let's talk about the fact of, well, how can I really institute change if I don't have enough of my members voted in to push through whatever legislation we want? Well, then we're just going to rant and rave and be a bunch of babies on the floor until we can get our way.
Right. But how does that changes how we do governance?
It does.
If you let them get away with this, it changes how we do governance, and it means that we have mob rule instead of elected rule.
Exactly.
And that, like, as much as people want gun control, or they say they want gun control, this small, loud mob out there, that is not the way that you govern a society.
I know people complain about how government works, but if you don't have decorum, you can't run a meeting.
Right.
And if you can't run a meeting, you can't effectively do anything. And just to let mob rule take over this whole thing, it's just wrong.
Well, and the other thing about government that people don't realize is like the whole government moving very slowly is not a bug. It's a feature. It was designed to go that way.
Exactly.
And it was supposed to prevent emotional, irrational decisions from being implemented and then not realizing the consequences down the line. They wanted people to talk things out, to debate things, to go through it over and over and over and look at it from all the different angles. And that's not what one side of the political aisle is trying to do, and it's actually turning the other side of the political aisle into doing the same thing.
But it's the thing that we're seeing both in Washington and at state levels and at local levels. It's happening all across the board. It's like we have become a nation of whiny crybabies, and we're just not moving forward. Hey, I want to get to Wiggins America, and I know I've gone a little bit long on this, and I apologize up front. But I want to get to this topic that Ryan's going to talk about on the other side. It's the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam. Thanks for listening today to 97.1 FM Talk.
Past where the blacktop ends, we'd walk to church.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
That's where I first saw Mary on that roadside picking blackberries. That summer I turned a corner in my soul down that red dirt road.
Foley Dental Group is there to make you feel comfortable, to provide you the best dental care in the bi-state region, and to make it so that you go, yeah, that wasn't bad. I can't wait to go back again. That feeling of clean teeth and good dental health, Foley Dental Group is going to give that to you. If you haven't been in a while, if you've got an ache in your mouth, don't postpone this any longer. Don't be worried about it. I've had the gas that they put on you to relax you when I've had cavities filled. They do what they can to make you feel comfortable. Foley Dental Group is seeing people of all ages. My kids go to Foley Dental Group. If you are looking for somebody new, taking new patients, check out FoleyDentalGroup.com. Call them at 618-288-9670. That's 618-288-9670. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you give them a call. Patients are constantly saying that they've never had a dentist talk to them about, particular issues before, because when you work or you go to Foley Dental Group, they work with you with a whole health approach. You will not be disappointed. Go where the Frey family goes, to Foley Dental Group. Go online to FoleyDentalGroup.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Do you hate standing on concrete floors because of foot, knee, or low back pain?
I couldn't stand on hard surfaces. The pain would get so severe that I couldn't stand it.
Tired of living in pain?
I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day.
You need comfort in your life.
Now I have no foot pain and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Good Feet fits in all your shoes. Ladies, you can now be comfortable in your favorite high heels. Good Feet. No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations. On Olive, west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
Play ball! Step up to the plate by donating your old car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Redbird tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. You can put the car in Cardinal by donating to Goodwill today. Donate online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about.
97.1 FM Talk.
I look forward to hearing the station all day.
Everyone is welcome. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
What a difference. We go from Red Dirt Road with Brooks and Dunn to what is this? It's
Cats in the Cradle.
Cats in the Cradle.
Cat Stevens.
I have a certain type of music I pick for Wiggins America, and this is
it.
In that folder.
Well, and we're running out of time quickly. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to Wiggins America.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Okay, I've been researching this all morning to try to bring you the quick version of what has happened with these 2 rulings on abortion pills, which affects all abortion pills nationally. So this isn't like a local thing. This is a countrywide thing. Happened over the weekend. 2 rulings, one from a Texas judge that issued a national injunction banning the specific abortion pill, there's two types of these things. I'm going to try to pronounce them correctly. Mifepristone is the one in question here, and then there's another one called misoprostol. A lot of the times, and these are the two most common, a lot of the times they're issued together, so they're taken in conjunction to end the life of a fetus.
I'm sorry to laugh. It's the misoprostol. Just made me go hold 2 Live Crew on you real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, let's I think I know where your mind is.
Exactly. So stop. I'm sorry. Keep going.
And I will. So mifepristone again and misoprostol. The first one is the one that has been in question with these rulings.
Okay.
The second one's not. And there's really no reason other than the case that was brought was specific to the first one. So the Texas judge, what he ruled on this was that the FDA passed it, I guess I should say, they allowed it to become nationally recognized as a safe drug in the year 2000. The case was saying, with apparently ample evidence, because the judge agreed with it. Now, whether you think he's an activist judge or not, that's up to you. But he agreed that this was pushed through very, very quickly in 2000 by the FDA for political reasons, to try to make abortions more available, and that they never really went back and did anything with it. And he agreed. He agreed with that assertion from the prosecution, and so then issued a nationwide injunction on the use of this drug.
So he's basically saying it got rushed to market without all the proper testing and research, and that's where the problem is.
And he's saying this happened in 2000, so even if they were trying to rush it at that time, there's been plenty of time for them to go back and re-litigate it, re-look at it, and they haven't.
They should have plenty of case studies at this point. I mean, you
certainly
have over 20 years of the drug being on the market.
Yeah, and I don't know whether the argument was that it is unsafe or just that the FDA did not do their job properly. It's somewhere in between there. So he issues a nationwide injunction on that drug, and that is the way over 50% of abortions are happening now with that drug.
Really?
Nationally. Now, I'm working backwards here to Roe versus Wade because there's a history that has to happen here. Actually, before I work backwards, let me work forward, because 1 hour later after this judge issued that injunction, a Washington judge issued the exact reverse opposite injunction. So people are really unsure what that means, because you can't have two competing national injunctions saying the opposite thing, and they don't know what to do with it because it doesn't happen that way. Usually, one works its way through the court, and then you figure out whether it was right or not. You don't have two equal opposite national injunctions.
Right.
So it's very strange that this is happening, and they're expecting that the Supreme Court will have to step in, because there really is no other court that could step in to something like this quickly anyway.
Well, in theory, all you'd really need to do is just keep going around and finding the conservative judges and the liberal judges, and we'll just keep overruling each other back and forth, and absolutely nothing gets done at that point, because the lawyers are going to be so confused, they don't know which ruling to follow.
And honestly, that's what CVS and Walgreens have been doing, is going very slowly on a lot of these abortion pills, because the laws are changing so quickly, and they're changing in every state, and these are obviously national companies, that they're going, man, we can't necessarily move on this until we have some clarity. And so then what happens? Well, then they become political pawns in the thing. And then California says, well, we won't do any business with Walgreens now. And so on and so forth. Other states doing the same thing. Well, because they won't offer abortion pills, even though they're legal here. And Walgreens is going, well, for the moment. And then that was before even this case came out.
Oh, wow.
So you can see why they would have been so hesitant to go forward with these things. Even just for their own skin. You know, you can say, well, Walgreens is a Mormon company. Well, maybe, but they also are protecting their own business by being very careful here.
But both of these drugs are different from the Plan B morning after pill. That's a completely different drug, right?
I think so, but I didn't research what the Plan B pill was. I just looked at these two because these are the two that are issued the most commonly. Now, the Plan B pill may be one that's issued commonly, but within a very narrow window after conception.
Well, I think you can actually get the Plan B pill over the counter now.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have a prescription for it. That's something that's completely different.
I don't think you've ever had to have a prescription for it.
For Plan B?
I think you used to have to, and then they made it to where it wasn't by prescription. Because I had a family friend, she was a pharmacist, and I want to say she was a pharmacist at Walgreens. And then she said, I refuse to fill that prescription. So because she was morally opposed to it. So it went from being a prescription drug to, not because of her, of course, but it went to being over the counter. So now you can just get the Plan B pill. So but I didn't realize that 50% of abortions were from these two drugs.
Are now done at least through abortion pills in general, and I think these are the two most common. So just to conclude this very quickly, you have what's considered in this Texas case to be, people are saying, well, that was a political move by this judge, and then obviously equal opposite political move by the Washington judge. But the Texas one, for whatever reason, analysts, and I'm reading New York Times stuff here, say is more likely to stick. I can't figure out why they're saying that, but they're saying that one's more likely, and so there's a lot of ramifications to this. And let me work backwards really quick with a minute left here, that this is all become an issue because of another political move by the FDA, which just happened in January of this year, where they opened the floodgates to abortion pills. They did that in light of Roe versus Wade. So you have a politically motivated FDA that has opened the door for chemical abortions to take place in the United States in ways that we were not doing at all before that. So whoever, ultimately, getting down to who's in charge, whoever controls the FDA, the president, that is pretty much who's going to control the abortion debate in the United States now, because it looks like the FDA really is who you have to control.
We're getting back to elections have consequences.
Yes.
That's Ryan Wiggins. Wiggins America, always good. Thanks for doing all the research and updating us on that. Hey, we're going to talk to Steve Moore from the Heritage Foundation coming up on the other side. My name is Mike Elam. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
The Illinois Family Institute, you can go to illinoisfamily.org. And the reason why is because I'm always talking about how do you get more involved? How do you become more informed? And how do you influence your representatives to do things that are more reflective of the way you want to see things done or the way you want to see things not be done? That happens a lot in Illinois. The Illinois Family Institute is there to advocate and boldly bring biblical perspectives to public policy. Now, here's the thing. Everywhere you go, you've got people lobbying government officials for the way they see things. The Illinois Family Institute is out there maybe advocating for yours, but you need to find out exactly how they're doing this and what issues that the Illinois Family Institute raises up that you might be interested in helping them fight against that Illinois legislature. Go sign up for their newsletter today, and you will be glad to be informed by way of the Illinois Family Institute on things pro-life, pro-family, pro-religious liberty, and small government policies at the Capitol in Springfield and in churches throughout the state. You'll find all the details online at illinoisfamily.org.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, Tom's nephew. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. Learn the strategies that have helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 36 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning. If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Deadly shooting in Kentucky. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Authorities in Louisville, Kentucky are investigating a mass shooting that left at least 4 dead and 9 others wounded.
It took Louisville Metro police officers just 3 minutes to arrive at the Old National Bank building on East Main Street to confront that mass shooter.
Officers exchanged gunshots with that suspect, and ultimately that suspect did die at the scene.
Though Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey says it's not clear if the shooter was killed by police or by a self-inflicted gunshot. 4 victims are dead. Others, including police officers, are injured. It is believed the shooter had some connection to the bank. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says he once had a campaign office in that building and personally knows some victims.
Fox's Eben Brown. Opening statement set to start today in Idaho at Lori Vallow Daybell's trial. She's the mother charged with murder in the 2019 killing of her 2 kids. The city of Nashville is preparing for the possibility of more protests this week.
Worries follow the expulsion of 2 State House lawmakers who participated in a gun reform protest on the gallery floor. Justin Jones and Justin Pearson want their jobs back. The Nashville Metro Council is likely to reappoint Jones during a specially called meeting today. As for Pearson, a county commission will meet soon to discuss his fate.
Fox's Claudia Cohen. Jones and Pearson argue their removal is an act of voter disenfranchisement and voter suppression. Republican lawmakers say the 2 violated the chamber's rules. China's military declared today it's ready to fight after completing 3 days of large-scale combat exercises around Taiwan that simulated sealing off the island in response to Taiwanese president's trip to the U.S. last week. China's military has said the combat readiness patrols named Joint Sword were meant as a warning to the self-governing Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own. America's listening to Fox News.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We're going to love the weather as we go through this Monday afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies and nice. Just a tiny chance of a sprinkle. 72 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 48. Tuesday, plenty of sunshine control, 75. Wednesday and Thursday, sunshine, 78. Friday, keep it going. Partly sunny, 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you thankful for the first responders in your community? Then nominate a local department and let us feed them a great meal. Compliments of Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here. Visit 971talk.com/contests and nominate someone today.
I think we can all agree the state of the economy right now is far from certain. Whether you believe the economy is temporarily stalled or we are looking at a recession, I think we can agree the outlook for growth is probably quarters, not months away for most of our organizations. When it comes to technology, companies we talk to discuss the rising costs and lack of quality IT staff as a primary concern. At Acropolis, we have a proven process, a better way to help you manage IT. During the last 3 downturns, we have seen some of St. Louis's best companies turn to us for help. If you have 30 or 300 users, we can reduce your overall IT cost, add technical depth and capability without sacrificing your planned strategic technology budget. We can help you protect the business you built, optimize your IT spend, and position your organization for growth. If you have no IT staff or an IT department, we have helped many companies reduce costs while increasing capabilities of your existing team. Or if it makes sense for your business, we can just be the team. Visit us on the web at acropolistech.com for a no-hassle consultation. Protect, optimize, grow. At Acropolis, we're here to help.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-2521. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Did you know St. Louis leads the nation in rounding up at our local McDonald's restaurants? That small change can make a big difference by supporting the building of a new local Ronald McDonald House. Please learn more at rmhcstl.com.
Friends of Fisher House St. Louis has served thousands of military and veterans family members in our community by ensuring they can be with their loved ones receiving medical care. They know that a family's love is good medicine. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you survived Easter well. Spending all that time with family can be awesome. It can also be very trying. So hopefully you are having a great day. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie Frey again today. And I'm honored that we get to have Steve Moore back on the show with us again today. Steve, if Annie keeps taking time off on Mondays, you and I are going to become the best of friends.
We are good friends, and thanks for having me, Mike. And I hope you had a happy and holy Easter weekend. Look, a lot going on right now that I wanted to talk about. One is, that the gas prices are now headed back to $4 a gallon nationally, and in some states like California, back up to $6 a gallon. And I want to remind people that this is a result of it's about $1 a gallon gasoline climate change tax that we're now paying.
Climate change tax.
Yeah, because I call it the climate change tax because, the climate change issue is why we're not producing more oil and gas here at home because, of course, we can't. These are sinister fuels and, the planet is going to explode if we keep using them, apparently. That's what the left says. And so, of course, all the rest of the world's using all the fossil fuels, but we can't do it. And we're still using, 75% of our energy comes from fossil fuels. So, the gas price is a big problem for people. OPEC has now been empowered to do what they did to us in the 70s and 80s and 90s of just keep raising the price of oil whenever they wanted to. And this is a self-inflicted wound. It's because of our own dumb policies of not, drill, baby, drill, using our oil and gas in states like Alaska and Texas and North Dakota and Oklahoma and Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And so I'm a little frustrated by that. But the other thing I wanted to mention to you and your listeners is there was a story that broke late last week about how the Environmental Protection Agency under Biden is going to make the new rules for cars incredibly stringent. So stringent that they're not going to, the car companies won't be able to, they're like a de facto prohibition on building, gas cars. So in other words, what they're trying to do is force everybody to buy electric vehicles. And, American people said, 90% of Americans say they don't want electric vehicles. They can't afford them and they don't want all the problems associated with them. And I'm not against electric vehicles, but what I am for, Mike, is choice. Let consumers decide. But I'm here to tell you that because they've said by 2032, which is only 9 years away, that 2/3 to 3/4 of the cars must be electric vehicles.
Wow.
But people don't want to buy them.
Right. Well, they can't afford them for the most part.
And even though, by the way, here's the thing, Mike. I mean, you make a good point. So we're providing $7,500 bribes, essentially cash bribes to people to buy an electric car. Plus, we're subsidizing the batteries in the billions of dollars with federal money. Plus, if you notice in shopping centers now, all the choice parking spaces for the electric vehicles. Have you noticed that?
Exactly.
So, you get the best parking spaces, you get the batteries for free. We're paying you $7,500 to buy these things, and people still are buying them because they don't want them. And so, the government's trying to force these down our throats, and I think there's going to be a revolt because Americans have a love affair with their cars.
Well, I know the policy that California has instituted, and they're trying to force everybody to go drive electric cars. But if California's policy, from what I understand, if California's policy does take effect, and if everyone did what Governor Newsom wants them to do, their grid cannot support that many electric cars. They would destroy their own power grid because they can't support the amount of electric cars that would need to be charged in California.
Mike, they can't even provide the power they need already. I mean, what have you been reading about for the last couple of years in California? Rolling blackouts and brownouts.
Right.
So can you imagine if you doubled the electric power usage there because everybody's charging their car every night and every day? I mean, you're right. This is like a suicide pact. And, how are you going to... By the way, if you start having brownouts and blackouts of more frequency, that isn't just an economic issue. That's a health and safety issue.
Exactly.
If your power plants are shutting down, if your hospitals, schools, factories can't operate, the grid system is, think about the internet and what that means to our communications. I mean, this is a very dangerous game the left is playing with the American economy.
The thing that I don't understand, I know we touched on this a little bit last week, about this has got to be intentional by the Biden administration. It's got to be intentional. You can't screw things up this quickly unless you're really trying to do it. But I don't understand, where are they going? Like, what are they trying to get us to? Because the policies that they're trying to push us to would kill us faster than anything.
So that's we did have a little bit of this discussion last week. And, people used to ask me like you, for the last 6 months, 9 months, a year or two, is this intentional? I said, no, I don't think it's intentional. But now I'm not so sure. It may be intentional because, first of all, the left does not love America. And that may seem like a broad statement to make, but I was just reading a column about a state legislator in North Carolina who was a Democrat, and the Democrats basically threw her out of the party, so she became a Republican. I don't know if you've been following this. It's gotten a lot of attention. But anyway, one of the reasons she said that she had to change parties, there were a lot of things that she did that just drove her Democratic colleagues crazy. But one of the things is she had an American flag in her office, and her colleagues hated that.
Wow.
Now, who is opposed to flying the American flag, for God's sakes?
I don't understand where these people are mentally. Well, first of all,
here's my point, though. These people don't think that America is a special place. They really think that we're responsible. It's a sort of blame America for. Remember, in the 70s and 80s, all the liberals were like, blame America for all the problems in the world. Well, that's where they are today. Every problem in America, in the world, is because of us.
Oh, it's completely our fault. Yeah. for everything that's going on. But these environmentalists make me shake my head because they, for a number of reasons, but just looking at the electric car area, right? Let's just focus on that one for a real quick segment. So in California, they won't let you mine for coal. So they have decided that you can't dig for coal in California, but you can bring coal in from neighboring states. However, they don't have enough rail cars to get the amount of coal that they need to come from neighboring states so they can burn it, which, by the way, they still need the coal to run their power plants to charge your electric cars. So you're trying to get more people to drive electric cars, which is going to require more coal to be burned, which is going to do more of what you hate. It's like I'm going to ignore everything that happens prior to me plugging in my car. So where all of that power comes from, I'm completely ignoring that, and I'm just going to say that came from God. Well, probably not God in their mind, but that came from some unknown power somewhere in the universe that provided this power somehow into my grid to charge my car. They completely ignore where that power is coming from and how that power is being generated. And like, what a selective memory that you have.
Well, it's hypocritical is the word we're all looking for.
By all means, yes.
Californians love to say they're holier than thou, right? Oh, we're so clean. Da, da, da. So what they're doing, I mean, you've got the story almost exactly right, except for the fact that they don't actually have to import the coal. What they do is import the electric power generation. And pretend that. So in other words, you know, every state is hooked up to the electric national grid system. So they're saying, oh, we don't use coal. Oh, yes, you do. You use coal. You're just using the coal from Wyoming and from Colorado and, you know, in West Virginia, and it gets onto the grid system, and then they import it, and they can act like they're not using it. Well, it doesn't matter where the coal is burning, right? It's still going to have the same impact on the climate. So there is a big H hypocrisy issue here. And let's face it, folks, 70 to 75% of our energy today comes from fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas. So the idea, the Biden administration thinks we're going to go from 70% to 6% in the next 10 years. I mean, do you want to destroy the country? If you want to destroy a country's economic output, you go after its energy source. So this is a really dangerous situation. We kind of laugh at them for how crazy they are. So if they shut down coal in West Virginia and they shut down coal in Wyoming and all these other states, where's California going to get its electric power from? Natural gas is a good way to get it, but they're against natural gas too. And natural gas is clean.
Well, it goes back to nuclear. Why are they against nuclear power? That's probably the cleanest fuel that they're going to be able to come up with, and they hate nuclear. What?
You know what the answer is? Because they want us to go back to the Stone Age, where people don't have cars. If you notice, they want to put everybody in mass transit. Yeah, that's the idea. Put everybody in buses and rails cars, and not, so you have no individual control. I mean, a car is the most liberating invention ever, right? I can get my car and go anywhere, anytime I want to. Not with mass transit and buses, they can't. So they can monitor where you are. They can restrict your travel. I mean, these people are Stalinists in the way they view the they want to have control over you, folks. That's the essence of the modern day liberal.
But they're consciously ignorant of what their policies are doing. I mean, there was the thing that was talked about for generations of the butterfly effect, right? So if a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the earth, it causes a tsunami on the other side. Everything is connected, right? So they're against all of these types of energy that we just talked about. They're against all of them, as long as it happens in the United States. But they completely ignore that the rest of the world is firing up brand new coal-fired power plants. India, China, they are continuing to build these plants every day.
Yes.
I'm curious to see how they explain the fact that we have one atmosphere that surrounds the planet. Unless you're a flat earth person, then that's a completely different discussion. But we have one atmosphere that controls this planet. So you're wanting to let more of that be produced in countries that have fewer of the steps that we take to try and clean it up. and you're okay with that. Or at least you act like you're okay with it. It's like, as long as it's not happening in my backyard, then it's really not doing anything to my environment. Wow, really? Is that where they are?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bottom line here is that if you care about climate change, there's only one country that really matters, and you know what country that is, right?
China,
of course. They're by far the biggest polluter. Even if the United States, even if they had a neutron bomb and wiped the United States off the planet, it would still have no effect on climate change, because China and India and all these countries are, polluting 5 times more than we are. So it's almost like we're being a sacrificial lamb here to the gods of climate change, even though it's going to make no difference in terms of, do you know we spent over $150 billion over the last 10 years on all this climate change crap? And yet last year, global emissions of carbon dioxide were higher than ever before.
Wow.
So what happened to all that money? I mean, did one dime of that money have any effect on the amount of greenhouse gases in the universe? No, because China and all these other countries are the big polluters. I mean, it's just so frustrating. We're playing right into the hands. As you remember when Trump used to say, all the other countries are laughing behind our back. Well, that's exactly what they're doing with the Biden administration. They're laughing at them. And Biden, there's only 2 people in the world who actually think that, that China cares about climate change, and that's John Kerry and Joe Biden. And everybody else knows it's a big joke. I guarantee you that President Xi cares a lot about things, but he doesn't care. He cares mostly about taking over the world economy, not climate change.
Well, it's one of those things that just makes me shake my head. And the more I learn about it, the more frustrated I get. But I appreciate the fact that you make time to come on here and talk to us a little bit about it. And at least we could try to make some sort of sense.
Get back on the job, please.
Yes, she's supposed to be back tomorrow. So next Monday, you should be having a discussion with her, and it's a great chance to find out. Hey, were you over at the OPEC meeting? Did you say something that made them decide that they're going to cut 1.6 million barrels of oil a day? Did you do that while you're out? I blame her because she's not here. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Steve Moore, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Have a great week. Take care.
That is Steve Moore, the Distinguished Fellow in Economics at the Heritage Foundation. His book is great, by the way, Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. And that's exactly what we are seeing. The bigger this government continues to get, the more freedoms we continue to lose. And I was trying to figure out, where did this cut come from? I didn't hear anything about OPEC talking about cutting 1.6 million barrels until it was already done. So starting in May, that's when this cut is going to happen. And it's going to happen for the now until the end of the year, from the beginning of May all the way through the end of the year. So get ready for that summer driving. Remember, we get the summer gas, which is a different type of gas. It's supposed to be better for the environment. So we're going to get that, and that's more expensive. So during the summer, your gas is going up anyway. Now you're going to add this on top of it. So, hey, break out the credit card. You're definitely going to need it to start filling up with gas. There's all kinds of stuff that has been getting dropped over this weekend. One of the things that happened that came out over the weekend was this leaked documents from the Pentagon and talking about the Ukraine war. Where did these documents come from, and what's the whole skinny on that? Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg is going to join us on the other side of this break, and we're going to talk a little bit about those documents and what we should know. It's the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie today on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group is a family business, and they want to help you and your family. When they meet their clients for the first time, they're going to set up a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. They build your own personalized structured income plan to generate a great amount of income for you for the rest of your life. They put you in control of your money. That means you don't have to have the worry, the anxiety that comes along with not really understanding how you're going to shift from saving to paying yourself with with that retirement that you've been working so hard to accumulate. Let their team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. When you reach out to them by calling 314-993-9494, you're not going to cause yourself to have to pay anything. There's no obligation. You just sit down and have a conversation. They ask you about where you are, what you want to achieve, and then they tell you how they can help you. If you feel like it's a good plan for you, join the rest of the Annie Frey Show listeners and 97.1 listeners and become a client. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all of the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
If you own a home in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis.com at 314-782-8000 and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant homes, inherited homes, fixer-uppers, beautiful homes, even the tenant who won't pay the rent apartment. Google us. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis and check out our best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move according to your schedule and your terms. Go to our website, chrisbuyshomes.louis.com, or call Chris at 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000 and get the offer you've been waiting for. 314-782-8000.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It's a beautiful day in St. Louis, supposed to be mid-70s today and sunshine, which is awesome. You're going to have a great week. It's going to be mid to upper 70s all week long. In case you missed it, over the weekend, there was some documents that dropped about the Ukraine war and who leaked all these top-secret U.S. documents and why. When I need answers to stuff like this, it's definitely above my pay grade. So we're very honored to welcome Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the former National Security Advisor to President Trump. He is the co-chair of America First Policy Institute's Center for American Security. General, thank you very much for taking some time with us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Good to be with you.
Man, I always enjoy when I get the opportunity to see you on Fox and get your analysis, and I was so thrilled that you had a few minutes to join us today. Can you help me understand what exactly was leaked and where did this come from?
Yeah, Mike, when I looked at it, I mean, it really, I had to scratch my head as well, because when you look at the documents, it was pretty interesting to look at them. Those documents are real. What I mean by real is I looked at the cover sheets and looked at the markings on them, and they were all correctly marked. But I also looked at where those documents went to. It wasn't only for many of them. It wasn't only the Joint Staff, but they were also releasable to NATO. And my concern is, okay, now where did those documents actually end up at? So when you look at the bottom of a document like that, it says who it's released to. Sometimes it's just released internally, meaning to the Joint Staff, or other times it's released to NATO or other nations that are out there. So I looked at them, and it was kind of a cross-feed of a lot of different ones out of them. So somebody clearly took some screenshots of them. There's no doubt about it. Do I think they came out of the Pentagon? Well, I would be shocked by that, only because they are so rigorous, or at least they used to be, on security and on carrying phones anywhere. I mean, you couldn't walk in any place if you were carrying a phone, and those are clearly screenshots. Unless they had them in their office, that's entirely possible they did that. And they have been made, released overseas as well. Maybe they came out of some places in NATO. Now, I don't see them right now as a big concern, meaning what they gave up. I think there is some disinformation there. Like, for example, they talked about the Russian casualties and the Ukrainian casualties. I know the Russian casualties pretty well, and I know for sure what the Ukrainian casualties are, and they're staggering. The Ukrainian casualties are over 100,000 soldiers killed.
Wow.
But the Russians are about 220,000 killed. So those numbers were clearly designed when it was changed to support the Russian narrative that they haven't lost that many. Yeah, they have. But some of those are the order of battle. Once those things go, and those things came out in January and February, that time frame, you give it about a month, that date is now dated, and it's really not of any benefit. I think the biggest issue I have is where did that stuff come from and who was able to release it? And they're going to have to really look back on their procedures they've got on who has access to those documents, because unfortunately in the military, Mike, there's always a proliferation of information. Everybody wants to know. Knowledge is power, and if I have the knowledge, I'm very, very powerful. I think some of it was designed to embarrass the Ukrainians. Some was designed to embarrass us. Some of it, they say, was designed to throw the upcoming counteroffensive, which there will be by the Ukrainians against the Russians, throw that off of timing. But all the stuff I've seen really has kind of said, okay, I've kind of got it. Right now, it doesn't mean much. It's dated information. Find out who did it, because that information is perishable, meaning after about 30 days, it's dead information. But how did it get out? And that's going to be the big question to me.
General, I'm just curious. We're talking with General Keith Kellogg. As we look at where we are in this Ukrainian-Russian conflict at the moment, where do you think this is going to go over the next few months? I know I've heard a lot of talk about the Ukrainian offensive that's going to come into this. There seems to be a lot of equipment that people have promised, countries have promised to Ukraine that hasn't quite made it there yet, at least from what I'm seeing. And I'm just curious where you see this going.
Yeah, no, Mike, I've said all along, and I've said this when I testified in front of Congress, look, you've got to end this war this year. And what I mean by that is you have to give the Ukrainians all the capability they have to fight this fight, because they're actually fighting the fight that we thought we were going to fight 20, 25 years ago against the Warsaw Pact and the Soviet Union. So give them the kit that was designed to beat these guys. So, and you tell Putin, and which Biden has not done, you pick up the phone, you call Putin, and you say, look, dude, here's the way it's going to go. You're either going to remove your army from Ukraine or you're going to lose your army in Ukraine. And he can't afford to lose it, because if he loses it, Putin falls as well. But nations have not been given them the kit they need to prosecute this war. And here's the reason why I'm saying prosecute the war to an end state. The reason why that's important is if this thing goes another year, one, you're going to get Americans saying, what am I in this for? You're into an election year that's going to cause a lot of issues as well. But more importantly, you're going to be in an attrition fight, and Ukraine cannot win an attrition fight. What I mean by that is they're outnumbered 4 to 5 to 1, right. And the Russians can throw a lot of troops at them. They can throw a lot of artillery at them, and they don't have the capability and the capacity to fight a fight like that. So they end up in a stalemate. And now what are you into? You're into an endless war, one that is not going to cease in the near term, because Ukraine's not going to give up, and the Russians are not going to give up. The only way you make the Russians give up, and this is what Jan Stoltenberg said, the Secretary General of NATO, he says the only way you get Putin's attention if you do it through strength and you beat his army. If you beat his army, then he pays attention. But we haven't given them the capability that they really need. For example, Mike, we said, well, we've given them 31 Abrams tanks. That's a battalion. Right. Okay, these guys need brigades of tanks to do this, and we gave them a battalion of Leopards. We gave them a battalion of Challengers out of the UK. Give them everything they need to do it. Can they do that? Sure, because in Germany right now there's a set of stocks called APS-2, Army Preposition Stock 2. It was designed to fight the Russians. Turn that entire stock. That's brigade combat teams, as in plural. Give them the equipment to fight. Let them go fight it and defeat an enemy, a strategic enemy. Then we don't have to worry about them, and then we can pay attention, as we should all along, to what's happening in China, and then tell Europe, okay, now we have done this for you. You're on your own. You figure this thing out in the future. I'm not going to have another war where we spend American lives like we've done in 2 world wars before. And they need to own up to that. So there's a lot of moving parts here, and I think if you can bring it to a conclusion this year, Ukraine wins. If you extend it out over a year, an attrition fight, and the Russians are going to gain.
That is Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. General, we appreciate you making some time for us today. I know you're under a time crunch, so I appreciate you working us in today.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much. That's Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He is a former national security advisor to President Trump and the co-chair of America First Policy Institute's Center for American Security. I love having that guy on, and I love being able to pick the brains of some of these folks. When it comes to this whole Ukraine-Russia, I'm torn on all of it, because there's a lot of money that is being spent, a lot of money that we don't have, that we are giving to someone. So we're going out and borrowing this money to be able to give to them. I really don't understand, and he alluded to it there. I really don't understand. If you're going to give them equipment, why do you slow walk it? Why aren't you giving them the equipment that they need now? We've said no the whole way through, and then we keep giving it to them. No, we're not going to give you this. And then we give it to them a few months later. No, we're not going to give you the tanks. And we give it to them a few months later. It's like, why do you keep slow walking all this stuff? If we're in, let's get in. And let's get it done. Like he's saying, the clock is ticking. We got to be done by the end of this year. Most of, I'll back that up. A lot of people are done with this war already. They're through with all the stuff that we did for 2 decades in the Middle East. They said, we're overextended. I'm through with all of it. Let's be done. And other people are saying, hey, let's go ahead and fight the Russians while we have them here. We've got the most precious commodity in use, and that is someone else's soldiers, not ours. So all we're doing is giving them armaments and letting them go fight the war. But it's one of those expressions that I heard years ago of, a chicken was in the breakfast, but the pig gave all. And that's kind of what's going on with this. Like, we're kind of given the chicken part of the breakfast, but the Ukrainian citizens are given the hog. They are in it because this is their homeland. They are going to fight to the death. And if we can arm them, from what you've seen so far, they have overperformed from what anyone in the world thought they were going to be able to do. And it could also be that the Russians have underperformed more than what anybody thought they were going to be able to do. Because the Russians most definitely have not put up the fight that everybody thought. Everybody thought when Putin started going in, he was just going to roll through them like Hitler rolled through Poland and thought it was going to be that way all over again. But the Ukrainians have said, no, we are going to die on this hill, quite literally. And to see that they have taken more than double of the Russian soldiers' lives compared to what they have given. But to the general's point, Russia has 4 or 5 times the population that Ukraine has. So they can play a long-term game and just keep throwing at that. I got to think, though, Sting had a song years ago, I guess the Russians love their children too, going back and talking about the Cold War. It makes me wonder at some point that the Russian mothers and fathers have got to say, enough. Quit killing my children. Quit sending my children to go fight this Ukrainian war that there is no reason for us to be fighting anyway. You've got to think that somewhere inside Russia that those parents, those families are going to get tired of the bodies that keep coming back to their country. I don't know what it's going to take. I grant you it's a whole lot harder to fight a regime in Russia than it is to fight a regime in Washington, D.C. But you've got to think that the Russian people are not into this war, no more than we were into continuing the war in the Middle East. So my hope is that eventually Putin's going to get pushback from his own people, and that's going to really start taking out the support. And you've already heard stories about people in Russia who are fleeing Russia so they don't get sent to the conflict. So Russia's young people are trying to get out of the country so they don't get sent to go fight. It's the whole World War II Eastern Front all over again, where the Russians just send their people into slaughter. I don't understand how any leader could be that uncaring to their people, but yet that's what Putin is doing. It's a mindset that I don't understand, and I can't imagine anybody in America understanding that mindset. But there we sit, there we are. We'll see what happens. Hopefully these documents don't create problems that we haven't seen coming down the pike, but it's good to get Lieutenant General Kellogg's input on that. We will be back and talk a little bit more with the crew here, with Hannah, Brad, and Wiggins. Katie Vargas is coming in along with Justin Hughes after the 2 o'clock hour. We're going to talk to a little bit about the Build My Future event that is going on at the Family Arena. It's a really cool event. They did it last year, bringing it back this year. We'll tell you more about that just after 2 o'clock. It's the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie today on your home for conservative talk. It's 97.1 FM Talk.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I don't
Shopping for flooring is made easy when you shop at a St. Louis family-owned and operated business like Michael's Flooring Outlet. Go online right now to igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com, and you can shop through the different products that they carry, the different finishes that they have, the different kinds of carpeting that they have. You can learn about the different opportunities in carpet that may make it a little more livable than you think. Some people are turned off by it, but if you like carpet like I do, they have the Mohawk Smart Strand. It is there to help you live your life on it and not have to worry about spills and allergies and pets and all of that stuff. Michael's Flooring Outlet will have a staff member who is experienced in selling flooring. They understand the ins and outs of the technology that's involved in flooring, and technology might be very advanced compared to the last time that you've gone through the flooring purchase. If you're shopping for your home, if you're shopping for your business, go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Also, if you're looking to do a project at like a local church, Michael's Flooring Outlet will walk you through the whole thing. You can shop online or visit one of their stores. Find them at igotfloored.com.
As the familiar tune fills the air, joy radiates along with the heat of flickering flames. You make a wish for another year surrounded by the ones you love. With each passing year, the compassionate team at Prairie Cardiovascular will be by your side with heart care that allows you to focus on what matters most. A life well lived. Prairie Cardiovascular, here with you.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Do you hate standing on concrete floors because of foot, knee, or low back pain?
I couldn't stand on hard surfaces. The pain would get so severe that I couldn't stand it.
Tired of living in pain?
I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day.
You need comfort in your life.
Now I have no foot pain and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Good Feet fits in all your shoes. Ladies, you can now be comfortable in your favorite high heels. Good Feet. No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Dearborg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
If you like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number 1 in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
If you're a business owner, are you feeling the pressures of running your business? There's a limit to what you can do and still keep employees engaged. Insperity brings 30-plus years of HR experience to help you with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving your employees competitive benefit options. You're able to focus on other priorities. Your employees can thrive and your business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Full-service HR, employee benefits, HR technology. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Let's vote for Ophthalmology Associates as best laser eye treatment in St. Louis Magazine's A-List competition. Online at stlmag.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
It is the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie today, going up to the Spirit in the Sky with Norman Greenbaum. And Wiggin turns to me and says, is this really Norman Greenbaum?
But we're not really surprised by that because Ryan didn't know who Nelly was.
Oh, didn't know who Nelly was. They were playing an intro to a song with no lyrics.
So you didn't know that was Nelly's song?
I'm like, I didn't know that was Nelly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you've never heard like one of his most popular songs.
It was just a beat. It was like...
I can name that song in one note.
Oh, okay.
Name that tune.
No, but I do admit, it was pretty lame that I didn't know that song because it's Nelly.
And it was on
hit.
STL Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I deserve some of that. But I'm not ever going to say that again when Annie returns because then it'll never end. I'll tell you that now.
It's all right. Yes. That happened at 1:45.
We're gonna flag that on the tape right now. We're gonna go back. How old am I? We're gonna flag it on the tape. We're actually gonna put that in the skimmer, and we're gonna go back and pull that off. It's I enjoy trying to figure out who the bumps are as soon as they start getting played, and luckily. Since I've been here, you played a lot of country and classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
Country is my favorite music. Classic rock is the format I've worked the most. So you hear a lot of those songs. I used to be able, when I was at KSD, we played our music off of, when it was classic rock, way back in the day, right? When JC and Joe Mama were on there with Radio Rich and Chuck Jeffries and all those guys.
We played it off of Hot Stacks of Wax.
We actually played it off of CDs.
Oh.
But I remember we had a CD burner, a Pioneer CD burner. It was $7,000 for that CD burner.
What was this, 1989?
This would have been 1990.
I was close.
You were right there. So 1990 when I was there. The CDs themselves, the blank CDs were $32 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's $7,000 for the CD recorder. But we were taking all of these old Keishi Classic type stuff that was only on album. It wasn't on CD. And we were creating our own CDs. So we would start burning all that stuff off. And because Mark Close and Radio Rich were at Keishi when they were playing all this stuff that no one knew, those guys used to just drop a needle on a record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put the needle on the record, put the needle on the record, put the needle on the record when the drum beat goes like this. No, it's complete. That's an ADD moment that just kicked in. Thanks for sharing. Anyway, they would put all these songs together. So we would have those CDs on the rack, and they were just on the music log that you would have to pull out by CD number. So I could tell you what an album was by the CD number that you would tell me. So you're like, hey, 4288. I'm like, Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Just because we played it so much.
Wow.
And it really made me really hate classic rock after doing that. Because you would play so many songs over and over and over again. And you're like, great classic rock without the hard rock. I'm like, oh, so in other words, you're the easy listening version of classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
And no AC/DC back in the day. I'm like, so all the stuff that you would really want to hear, it was still on Keishi. So
I hear you.
Okay,
I am that guy. I refuse to listen to not soft rock, but just a softer version of rock.
And that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, if you want to play rock in the office, KSD is your station.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly. It's like, we're just going to take the edge off a little bit. Like, really, that's the whole point of rock, isn't it?
If you're working a construction site, though, that guy's got a boombox and Keishi's on it, right? I want to play classic rock during the day, but my office isn't going to let me play Ozzy and AC/DC. So I can play James Taylor and Fleetwood Mac all I want.
You know what's crazy is that today I hear so little. It's not that it doesn't exist, but I hear so little interesting rock that most of the innovation is happening in pop music.
What do you paint that out for me a little bit? Interesting rock.
So I hear a lot of retro rock, like redone old kind of stuff.
Right.
Bands that, not that they're cover bands, but, this band sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I agree that's cool, but it's not really innovative. I mean, I guess it's kind of like
You're ripping
backwards.
off somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, in the last 20 years, I'd say people like the White Stripes would have been really cool new rock.
Different.
And there's somebody's going to put in the comments several bands like, yeah, they've done some stuff that's interesting.
Right.
But stuff that really makes my jaw drop, like, oh, wow, that's new, is mostly in pop music, which I don't really like, but I appreciate the innovation that's happening.
When I was at Magic 108 when we signed Z1077 on the air, and Jeff Capucci, who was a program director at Z1077, said at the time, "This is disposable music." And I'm like, disposable music? He goes, yeah, these are all artists and songs that next year we're going to go, who?
Yeah,
because
that's correct.
No one cares, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna burn them out because at the time, if you were a top-rated song, they were spinning that song every 56 minutes. 56 minutes. So in some hours, you actually heard that song twice in the same hour.
I remember listening because that was what was on when that was the pop station
it
Z1077
was
whenever I
huge.
was.
Oh yeah, they would do
When I was
stuff
in high
twice in an
school,
hour. It was like
I'd
45
sit there-
minutes.
It felt
Still
like a
is big.
seven song rotation.
Oh, it was it on those songs, you just burned them out. And Jeff's like, yeah, this is disposable music. We're just going to burn the heck out of it, and then we're going to trash it, and you'll never hear from that song again, unless it gets to be a recurrent somewhere down the road. But it's something that we're just going to burn through. But to the same point, I feel that way about television shows. There are no good, new, different television shows.
Oh, my gosh.
All these television shows, it's like, okay, well.
I mean, very rare. You know, when the one that everybody's talking about at a given moment usually is decent.
Right.
And maybe not even my cup of tea, but at least decent. Beyond that, we're to the point now where it's so hard. You're in my lane now because you're talking TV.
Sorry.
As you know, we
Hey,
started in
that's true.
TV
That's
together.
how we know each other.
Originally at UPN. But that's like the business of TV. For a long time, you had ad supported. That's why you watch TV. Every 7 minutes, you got an ad break.
Right.
That's how they're supporting this really good, or quote unquote good content, but abundance of it. That's why you got 24 episode seasons of shows. Now you get 6.
Right.
You know, it's because the money's just not there like it used to be. Part of that is because there's so much more content everywhere that people aren't seeking out that particular content. It's still the best of the best, so people are seeking it out. But there's just not as much money as there used to be.
There's very little shows that you hear people talk about anymore. You know, the proverbial conversations at the water cooler that you have. There's very few of those shows that come up anymore. I mean, the big one that I would think of right now that people have really got a buzz about is Yellowstone. Over the past 5 seasons or so of that, that's really become a thing.
I was going to say, you said Yellowstone and Hannah
Yeah,
Keeter, Mike.
I lit up.
Hey, look at that.
The whole reason I started watching Yellowstone is because Annie would talk about it on air, and she was saying how good it was. And I was kind of reserved about watching it at first because it wasn't on Netflix, which is what I usually stream everything off of.
Which is all I watch.
It was on Peacock, and so I got Peacock, and now I am a huge Yellowstone fan.
Did you watch 1873, and are you watching 1923?
No, I'm going to watch that after. I just started season 3 out of 4 of Yellowstone. So almost done with that, and then I'll go around to the other ones.
But it's a great example of there are so few shows that when you do have something that is original or different or it just has a completely creative take on a storyline, it makes such news that everybody's like, wow, how can I get this? And it becomes a phenomenon.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pay for your streaming service for one show because I'm so desperate to find something good.
The first season of Yellowstone was done before we even heard about it. And then we're like, oh, well, let's go back, because we're programmed now. We binge watch to Hannah's point of Netflix, right? Netflix taught us how to binge watch. In other words, I don't have a life this weekend because Ozark is on. So I am going to sit down and watch all 10 seasons of Ozark.
In one weekend.
In one weekend,
Yes.
right? I'm not going to go outside this weekend. I'm just going to watch this. But then when it's done, it's like, oh, well, now now I feel like the drug just wore off, right? And now I'm going through withdrawals.
Because
that
what's
was
the next
really
thing?
cool.
I need my
Right.
next high.
Took me through the roller coaster ride, and now they're getting to the point where they won't release a show in one fell
I
swoop.
like that. I
Now
actually
they're-
like the weekly release of things.
But you're making me wait, man.
Yes, they
Come
are.
on.
Have a little patience. Just like the old days.
No, I don't want to wait.
I don't even want commercials anymore. I'm like, come on.
Well, you
Boom,
can
boom,
buy.
boom, boom,
You can
boom.
mostly buy your way out of commercials now if you want to.
for the most part. But we ended up having to buy. Is it Paramount Plus? Mm-hmm. That we had to Peacock. We had to buy the streaming version of that to be able to catch up on the Yellowstone series because you couldn't go get it on regular TV.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't go back and pick it up and watch it.
Yeah, DirecTV. I looked it up there first, and they were charging like $3.99 per episode. I was like, oh no!
Right. It's like no. I'll pay the $9.99 to watch the whole thing.
Just because you mentioned Peacock. Now I don't know if you have that streaming service. Watch the movie Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin.
It's only a movie, so you're not hour and a half. So
Okay.
it's not going to change your life. But
I don't know.
Highly recommended because I was just flipping through trying to find something, reading the descriptions. It said 4 people show up at a cabin and you don't know why they're there. Pretty much was what it was. So I'm like, well, you kind of hooked me. I'm watching it. I love stuff, Mike, since we're getting into like the writing of it. I love stuff that starts with a mystery. It's called the hermeneutic code. I write according to it a lot.
Okay.
Where you start with something that makes you go, why is this happening? And then you just are hooked the rest of the time. I write a lot of small, like set stuff for that reason because it's cheap to produce. And as long as you can hook people into why is this happening, then you're stuck. You got them the whole time. That movie does that.
We are such an ADD generation these days, right? We need something to get us through. Hey, you may need something to get you through in terms of a career. And there was a group that put this together last year called Build My Future. And we're going to talk to Katie Vargas and also to Justin Hughes about that event that is coming up at the Family Arena. Maybe it's something that will get you hooked or get your kids hooked. We'll see what that's like. It's the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam. Thanks for listening to St. Louis's home of conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440, is your friend when it comes to the mortgage business. You partner with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and he introduces you to the bagel loan. Nobody else out there right now has the bagel loan. It's just Stewie's. He named it. It's his baby. I have used it twice with refinances on my home, but you can use it as well to make a purchase. If you are out there trying to compete in this kind of wild and crazy real estate market, and you found the house that you want to make your home, Stewie can help you through that process. Become the most competitive buyer submitting an offer with Stewie. Here's one of the things that he does. Once you get your pre-approval done, so you know what you were pre-approved for, you can generate your own pre-approval letters on his website. You don't have to wait for a third party to generate these letters for you. It's at your fingertips. You don't have to pay, when you get the bagel loan, closing costs that everybody else is going to charge you for. He's going to save you thousands of dollars to make you a more competitive buyer. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226715.
If you want to see better in the new year, there's no better time to call Brenton Vision than right now. Mark Cox here. My friends at Brenton have everything you need to get the crisp, clear vision you've always wanted. Call them at 314-375-2020 or go online today to brentonvision.com. They are the only team in Missouri to perform all 7 FDA-approved forms of vision correction. That includes modern LASIK, permanent contact lenses, and if you have bad reading vision, they even have treatments for you too. So stop throwing your money away. My wife got lens replacement. She sees perfectly these days and she loves it. Quit putting it off. If it's standing in your way of achieving your goals and your resolutions, Brenton Vision is here to help. Call them today at 314-375-2020. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. That's 314-375-2020 or schedule right now at brentonvision.com.
If you own a home in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs. Call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis.com at 314-782-8000 and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant homes, inherited homes, fixer-uppers, beautiful homes, even the tenant who won't pay the rent apartment. Google us. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out our best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to our website, chrisbuyshomes.louis.com, or call Chris at 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000, and get the offer you've been waiting for. 314-782-8000.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Another mass shooting. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Local, state, and federal authorities now investigating a shooting at a Louisville, Kentucky bank building that left at least 4 victims dead and 9 others wounded, several critically.
Police believe the shooter was a current or former employee of the Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. Police do confirm the shooter is dead. It's unclear at this time if it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound or if he was shot by police. The shooting started at 8:30 this morning. Louisville police, the ATF, FBI, all on scene investigating right now.
Fox's Nate Foy. Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is supporting Governor Greg Abbott's efforts to pardon a man convicted Friday in the killing of a Black Lives Matter protester in 2020. Paxton telling Fox News the prosecutor in the case had political motives.
This guy ignores real crime, and then he maliciously prosecutes people that he doesn't like for political purposes.
Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza calling efforts to pardon Perry troubling, saying the jury's verdict should stand. China has completed 3 days of war games near Taiwan as tensions continue to rise between the communist-governed mainland and the democratically self-governed islands.
China is out to demonstrate to the world that they're practiced and ready to move in on Taiwan if they so choose. We've seen it before. Today, an aircraft carrier was used to launch warplanes, with China calling this a rehearsal in, quote, sealing off the island. This comes in response to Taiwan's president meeting with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the U.S. last week. Lawmakers have been working to harden Taiwan in the event of an attack by China, which claims the self-governing democracy as its own.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The Justice Department filing for an emergency stay of a Texas federal judge's ruling that suspended FDA approval of the abortion pill mifepristone. The drug was approved over 20 years ago. America's listening to Fox News.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We're going to love the weather as we go through this Monday afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies and nice. Just a tiny chance of a sprinkle. 72 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 48. Tuesday, plenty of sunshine control, 75. Wednesday and Thursday, sunshine, 78. Friday, keep it going. Partly sunny, 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks?
What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we take on the establishment and challenge corporations to be better for the safety of our community.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie Frey today on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk. So we took a little break from music that you should know and television shows that you should care to watch. And now we're going to turn our attention to your future. Yes, we're going to help you build your future. It's going on at the Family Arena. It's an event called Build My Future, STL, and it's happening April 26th and 27th at the St. Charles Family Arena. That's right. You get to come out to God's country. Katie Vargas is here. She is from the Francis House School District. Jason Hughes is here. He is the vice president of Missouri Home Builders Association, and they are both involved thick as they can be in this event. Guys, how are you? Thanks for coming out.
Very well. How are you?
Very good. I'm better that you're here because now we can figure out a little bit more about this event. So was last year the first event at the Family Arena?
That is correct.
Beautiful. So obviously it went well. Tell me a little bit about last year. Who showed up that was at the event last year?
Sure. So we had roughly 1,000 students from across primarily the St. Charles County region on northward and westward from that space. And this year we've expanded our reach to multiple more counties. Actually, we invited over 200 public and private schools from the St. Charles County area on north, south, west, east, all the way into Illinois. And so we'll have approximately 3,800 students attending this year over the 2-day event.
Wow, you almost quadrupled in 1 year.
Yes.
You have that much space that you're going to be able to do this.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about when the kids show up. And is it only open to high schools?
No, so that'll be new this year as well. So, and we really want to impress upon that. We will have, over the 2-day event, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. closed space for our schools that are attending. In the evening of the 26th, we will have an open to the public event from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we really would love anybody interested in pursuing, investigating careers in the trades to attend.
So, Jason, tell me a little bit about what are they going to find when they get there? What is this event all about?
So it's basically a 2-day job fair that introduces them to the trades, and that's carpentry, plumbing, electric, masonry, welding, heavy equipment operators. I mean, there's actually interactive events that the students can do that introduces them to the trades.
So are you going to be able to hop up on a big earth mover and go drag stuff around the family arena?
I do believe they will have skid loaders and equipment there that the kids can mess around with.
Very cool. I saw some of the videos last year, and it looks like if this is an event where you come and get your hands dirty.
Yes.
So don't wear your nice clothes, but
Yes, closed-toed shoes, jeans. We'll give you a shirt if you're coming for the student event, and we will have 70 interactive exhibits that day, both indoors and outdoors.
So you're going to cover the family arena floor.
Correct.
I saw last year, it was all over the place. And there's a great video that you can go check out at buildmyfuturestl.com, and it will show you a good idea of how this is going on. I jumped into this right away, and I forgot to go back and say, how did this start? Where did this come from?
It actually started, I believe, in 2014 in Springfield, Missouri. And then, there's definitely a need for people getting into the trades. A lot of the employees are aging out.
Right.
And, so when we heard about it at the St. Louis HBA, we said it would be a great idea.
So what's the interest from the Home Builders Association? Why did the home builders want to get involved with this?
Just, again, for the need to get people into the trades. The young kids need to know that there are other options outside of college.
Right.
You get paid while you're being trained in most instances, and you come out making a living wage and you don't have any student debt.
Yeah, which is really nice. And it's one of those kind of things of once you learn that skill, you know that skill for the rest of your life. Nobody can take that away from you. And the great part, so one of my sons and I were having the conversation because he was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? I'm like, well, I'm 56, about to be 57, and I'm asking that same question. But the good news is, if you go learn how to be an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a painter, whatever, you're going to be able to do that for the rest of your life. And whether you do that for a living or whether you do that for your own personal, there's a lot of guys who are very handy. Unfortunately, my wife's husband is useless. So I need someone who can be able to help me do all those kind of things. And my brother-in-law is a painter. My other brother-in-law is very good at electrical. So when I need something done, I'm like, hey, Tim, can you help me paint my house, right? It's skills that we desperately need. And if we don't get this done pretty soon, we're going to be in a world of hurt. Absolutely. So tell me, from a school district standpoint, how did the school district get involved in this event?
Right. So we saw the industry need to, and that's just part of my role as an educator and what I do for our district. And there's several of me out there in the region who pay attention to what our workforce development teams are telling us. And we also know as educators that we often push that 4-year college route a little too heavily.
Right.
And so we are trying to shift that paradigm and really redefine what college is. And that's really any sort of training outside of a 4-year high school diploma. And so this falls right into that wheelhouse. We knew there was a shortage that we would need to fill the pipeline. And we also were hearing from our students that they wanted more opportunities to learn about this industry. So it really came together, the chambers of commerce, workforce development teams, school districts, industry folks. We all came together and said, this is important, and we want to make sure our kids in our area have the chance to learn.
Well, I know in a lot of the trades, after you get through your apprenticeship training and things, a lot of them are pretty much at an associate's degree that they can actually have from the community college. So there is an educational component that is definitely involved in all
Most
this.
definitely.
Right. Yeah, so it gives you a great foundation that if you do want to pursue other education, you're already a long way down the road and you're not starting from scratch.
That's right.
So there's a lot of things that can kind of get into it. So what's the big thing that you're excited about from a whole builder perspective? What's your favorite thing about this particular event, besides, of course, creating a pipeline of guys who are going to build homes for you?
It's just the students get really excited, when you show them, this is what you can do. You can get out of high school, get trained, and just seeing the excitement on the student's face really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would echo that as an educator. It's just so really just a goosebump moment to see students go, wow, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is what I love to do, and connect that with a career potential, and really just seeing the diversity of the students that are there. We have females, males, all types of students from all across the region. So it's just neat to see everybody come together and literally be doing trade work in that arena. We had gals laying brick last year. I saw a gentleman using one of those big booms for a relay race, if you will. So it's just neat to see them hands-on and loving what they're doing.
Because there are a lot of people that their skill set isn't necessarily book learning. Right. And they're not great at that. It's just not something they excel with, but they're really good at their hands. Right. And there is something about the satisfaction that you have of starting with nothing and just a bunch of materials. And at the end of the day, you put it all together, and there's a sense of pride and satisfaction that said, I built that. Absolutely. I mean, for me, that's probably a birdhouse. But, for other people, it's an actual real house that all comes together. And I was talking with Erica Chandler. I was talking with Erica Land, who connected us originally about this event last year. And just seeing the CAPS program kids, I shouldn't say kids, the CAPS program associates who go through their program. And a guy who, when he was going through high school, said, I think I'm going to be a doctor. And that's a way that his parents were kind of pushing him. He got into a medical environment and he went, wow, I hate this. I don't want anything to do with this. And he switched it. Of all things, he became a plumber. And he is about ready to finish his apprenticeship in plumbing. And he's making doctor money as a plumber. Right. And it's one of those kind of things, I mean, to Jason's point, where you're seeing a lot of guys in the trade, and ladies for that matter, that are aging out. I mean, they're ready to retire, and they've been doing this for a long time. There is a really good retirement in the trades for a lot of folks. So as they're getting ready to go to that next stage of life that they want to go to, there's not a big backlog of folks coming in. So if you want to move up the ladder quickly, there is a real pathway for advancement if you go get involved in that. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes, very fair. Actually, the National Home Builders Association had a statistic that there are over almost 250,000 job openings in the trades across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you could take that and kind of go anywhere you want.
Yeah, you can't outsource this type of work.
Exactly.
It has to be done here on our
people.
soil.
Yes.
That's correct.
It's going to take folks who are actually here. You can't build a virtual house.
That's right.
I mean, you can, but you can't live in it. So that's a completely different way of doing it. So tell me a little bit more about how can people get involved in the event? I assume the schools have all the information for the students?
Yes. So if you're a parent listening and you really want your student to attend, one of two ways, I would email that your student's counselor at their high school to make sure their school is registered. And if they are not, I would highly encourage you to come anytime between that 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. space with your student. And again, it's open to the public. BuildMyFutureSTL.com has all of our links for anybody who would still like to be an exhibitor on the industry side. We do still have some outdoor space available. I know that with certainty. And if you are wanting to get involved, if you want your student to attend and the school is not attending, please send myself or my co-chair, Kelly Pfeiffer, over at the Home Builders Association an email, and we will make sure that your school is in attendance next year.
So
Everyone's welcome.
How many counties are involved in this year?
We have, oh my goodness, I wrote it down. Give me 1 second. We have 22 counties in the region.
Wow.
Involved. So that, again, extends well north of St. Charles County, well south into St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and into the Metro East Illinois side.
I assume all the trade representatives are going to be there and give people more information. So if they want to figure out, hey, if I want to learn this stuff, where do I go? How do I learn? Where's all this happened? So
that's right.
Absolutely.
So we'll have that interactive component, and we'll have representation from all of the trades industry subsectors explaining how to get trained, what the benefits are of being trained and becoming an apprentice if they have an apprenticeship program. And then, to your point, Mike, what they can do once they're finished with the apprenticeship in terms of further education.
You know, it's funny, for years we always kind of associated trades with the Democratic Party. But last year, when I was running for re-election in St. Charles County, I was knocking an awful lot of doors of Union Republicans. And they were very clear of they had Trump flags at their house. And they're like, look, this is where I am politically. And it's one of those things where you can't put people in that box anymore, right?
We can't put students in those boxes either anymore. So that's really my life's work, and all educators for that matter, is really believing in children's ability to define early on what they're good at and what they love to do. And then it's our duty to lead them in that direction. And that's what a lot of this work is based upon.
So tell me a little bit about what's the difference between the 9 to 2 high school and the 3 to 5 general?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
We will have the exact same vendors there, the exact same amount. We'll have both indoor and outdoor space covered. So it really is just, we'll be opening our doors to the public during those 2 hours.
Well, is there anything that we've left out of this conversation so far? Jason, you look like you're ready to add something.
I think we're good.
You think we're good?
I would just say, if we could, a huge thank you to our presenting sponsor, Home Builders Association. Yep. So thank you, Jason, and to your whole crew at the HBA. I also would really like to thank our other top sponsors, Operating Engineers Local 513, Builders Block, and St. Charles Community College.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you guys making the time. You drove all the way down to St. Louis City, so be careful on your way out. I'm just kidding. It's a St. Charles joke, right? So I have to do that. Anytime I get some St. Charles people in, Brad just shakes his head and says, you know.
I come in from Illinois, and you hear about, I got to cross the river. It's like, it's just a bridge, guys.
I love St. Louis. I'm a St. Charles County resident who loves St. Louis, I promise.
Well, once again, it's called Build My Future STL. It's happening at St. Charles Family Arena, April 26th and 27th. On Wednesday, the 26th, it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is when the general public opens up. And then again on Thursday, it's going to be for the high schoolers only. So 9 to 2 on both Wednesday and Thursday, high schoolers, general public 3 to 5 on Wednesday. Guys, I hope it's a fantastic event. I love the fact that you've quadrupled in size year over year. I have no idea what we're going to do if you quadruple next year. If we have, 16,000 kids who show up at the family arena, I have no idea what we're going to do with that. But that would be one heck of a problem to solve, wouldn't it?
Bring it on.
I think everybody would be happy with that. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming in. Great luck with your event. Let us know how everything turns out. And that's the way that you can find out more information. BuildMyFutureSTL.com. Thanks for being a part of the Annie Frey Show.
Thank you.
So
Thanks
much,
for having
Mike.
us.
Hey, my name is Mike Elam, sitting in today for Annie. This show just goes so fast. We've only got about a half hour left. It's amazing how that happens. Thanks for listening to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Snuff the fires and the liars. Hey, I know it's just a somebody's spies for the the recipe. This is
the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you got the goods, they'll come and buy it just to stay in the click. So don't delay, act now, supplies are running out. Allow if you're still alive.
AirComfortService.com is the website for you to go check out how to get the insulation in your home improved. Go to AirComfortService.com/insulation for those details. Also, as spring is upon us, if you are looking for an opportunity to replace your HVAC system, I want to tell you about a great opportunity for you to save. Call Air Comfort Service and ask about their hybrid HVAC system bundle. For a limited time, you're going to be able to save $7,500 in manufacturer and utility rebates and tax credits on a hybrid HVAC system. Air Comfort Service is always looking to pair you with the best rebates that are available to get you the best price, and it comes with the best service. Air Comfort Service is exactly who you've been looking for to trust your HVAC system home in their hands so that you always get to stay in your comfort zone. If you go with that hybrid system, you can bundle your new hybrid system with attic insulation and save an additional 20%. Air Comfort Service is waiting for your phone call, 314-513-0091. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you give them a ring. Find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Dr. Ursula Whiteside talks about the toll relationships take on our mental health.
You actually have control over that. There's going to be some amount that no matter what, you're going to be in pain and have to go through. But if you let your brain spend all the time thinking about how great they were and how perfect and all that prevents you from moving through this and having a new life.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. Spring is a great time for tree maintenance and removal. At Hansen's Tree Service, we have a full staff of certified arborists that can help you with everything you need when it comes to tree care. Get ahead of spring storms and check us out at hansenstree.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-338-0419. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-338-0419. 800-338-0419. 800-338-0419.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. When I make a recommendation on the radio, you can be sure I've done my homework. When it comes to real estate, I only recommend one realtor. That's Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Fact is, I've been recommending Gloria for years now. I've met her clients. I've seen her systems. Gloria has a proven track record for selling hundreds of homes this year alone, and that'll give you the confidence that she'll help you sell yours for the most money. The fact is, Gloria already has the buyers looking to buy now. That's why she'll actually guarantee in writing to sell your home at your price in your time frame, or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on the price and the possession date.
The features you always dreamed of are here. We're talking about rewinding the radio. Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like. Or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
It's Mike Elam sitting in for Annie today on 97.1 FM Talk. As you may have heard, there was a shooting earlier today in Louisville, Kentucky. There's actually two. There was one at a bank and one at a community college. So there's a press conference that started just a little bit ago, and I think Hannah was going to try and see if we can jump into that real quick and see if we can get an update.
Lost their life today. Tommy Elliott, 63 years of age. Jim Tutt, 64 years of age. Josh Barrett, 40 years of age. And Juliana Farmer, 57. We have a total of 9 victims who were treated and are being treated at University of Louisville Hospital. 3 which are in critical condition, including our officer. 3 who are listed in non-critical condition, and 3 who have been treated and released. The 2 officers who were struck in exchange of gunfire, one of the officers, he was grazed to the left side, and the other officer suffered minor injuries to the elbow. I just want to let everyone know that the officer who is in critical condition today, Officer Nicholas Wilt, 26 years of age, just graduated from the police academy on March 31st. I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer. He was struck in the head, engaged in this incident. Nick has come out of brain surgery and is in critical but stable condition as we speak. I've been down there with the family and given my love and support. Been with all of the families today to show our love and support for them. And if anything else that they need from LMPD, we will provide that. The next few days are important and very critical for Nicholas's recovery. This will be a long, complex investigation involving local, state, and our federal partners. I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge our federal partners who have just been outstanding, our local partners, ATF, FBI, I thank you. Our local partners, University of Louisville Police, EMS, Emergency Management Services, thank you. Thank you for everything. And for my LMPD officers who took it upon themselves to not wait to assess everything, but just went in to stop the threat so that more lives would not be lost. Thank you. Thank you for showing up, even when sometimes you are just felt like you're not appreciated. But I asked my officers when I addressed them today, if we don't do it, who will? And so they're very committed, and their resiliency showed today, and their professionalism showed today. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank the mayor, who has been with us every step of the way through this trying and critical time. But I want to encourage the public, if you have any additional information, please call 574-LMPD and assist us. This should not continue to happen. Evil should not try to prevail and take over our city, and we let it happen. So I'm encouraging everybody that we unite and that we continue to do the good work, and LMPD will continue to keep this community and this city safe.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much, Chief. Today is a day that's heartbreaking for our city, for all of us, and especially for the people who are in that office at Old National Bank and their loved ones. We just heard the chief give the names of the people who lost their lives in this mass shooting this morning. One of them was Tommy Elliott, a very good friend of mine, of the governor's. To Tommy's family, to the families of Jim Tutt, Josh Barrett, Juliana Farmer, Rachel and I join you and families across our entire city and beyond in grieving this shocking and painful loss of your lives. The chief, the governor, myself, we visited in the hospital this morning with several of their families to offer them our support and our love during this unthinkable day. We will continue to offer our support and love and anything else we can provide to help them. We were also there, along with several of my colleagues from Metro Council, to thank and support the officers of LMPD for their heroic work today and every day. And say thank you to the new graduating class who was there to support their colleague, Officer Will, as he continues to fight for his life. Let's be clear about what this was. This was an evil act of targeted violence. And to add to that tragedy, a few blocks away, shortly after this happened, another man lost his life and a woman was shot in a completely different act of targeted violence. The two incidents appear to be entirely unrelated, but they both took lives. They both leave people scarred, grieving, and angry. I share all of those feelings myself right now. This is really difficult for all of us across the entire city to process and accept. I ask that we respect the needs of the families and loved ones of the people whose lives were lost today, and the people whose lives will never be the same. I'm a survivor of a workplace shooting. To the people who survived, whether you were physically hurt or not, I know that you're hurting too. We are here for you as well. To the survivors and the families, our entire city is here to wrap our arms around you. We've set up a family assistance center through the Red Cross to provide support and services to those families today and in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead that we know will be challenging. To provide you with whatever you need to deal with the trauma of this moment. The same applies to our police officers and first responders. Our city is here for everyone impacted. We are a strong city, and we will be here for support. As the chief mentioned, our LMPD officers went into that building knowing that they were risking their lives to save other lives. And that's exactly what they did. They exchanged gunfire with the shooter. To Officer Wilt and his family, we will continue to pray and support you. To the other two LMPD officers who were injured, thank you and all of your colleagues for your service today and every day. I also want to
We're going to back out of that real quick. You're listening to the mayor there as he was talking about the shooting. That was the interim police chief that we started off with. How do you like that? You're the interim police chief, and you've got to go answer all these questions.
That's actually the same situation that happened in St. Louis when we had that school shooting. That's the interim police chief.
And Officer Nick Wilt is the officer who was shot in the head, she said. Just got out of the police academy on March 31st. Got out of the police academy on the 31st and was sworn in. So been on the job for less than 2 weeks, but already running towards the sound of danger. So obviously prayers with him as he's recovering. Said he's out of brain surgery. Obviously no idea what that means right now in terms of how is he, but he is in critical condition. And you have some other folks that are in critical condition as well. A number of folks who were shot. I believe they said 4 who died, 5 including the shooter. Haven't heard yet if the shooter was killed by officers or if the shooter killed himself.
I think they're still investigating that.
Right. I think it's anytime something like this happens, the early reports are just pieced together. Many times they're wrong, unfortunately, but just trying to get information out. So it's always good when we can get into those press conferences to be able to get a little bit more information. But the first shooting happened at 8:30 this morning at the Old National Bank. There in the first floor is when the gunman came in. But then you had another shooting at the community college where one person was killed, one person was injured. Still unclear if that was a single shooter or if that was two shooters. There were conflicting reports on that. So hopefully we will find out a little bit more about that. But it's just one of those kind of things where we've got yet another shooting that is happening. And it goes back to the discussion that Ryan and I were having earlier in the show of where did we create this mindset of our way of solving a problem? I'm mad about something, therefore I'm going to go shoot people. And just don't know how we got to this point and what's it going to take to get us out of this. You could take guns out of the equation. You could place, they had in England, they had a guy on the streets last year, year before, who went down the streets with a machete, just whacking people with a machete.
I actually just saw a video from Europe of two rival gangs hacking one another up with machetes.
So, I mean, you can make your claim of, well, you can't kill as many people in a shorter period of time with a machete. You're still killing people, and it still goes back to how did we get to this mindset where that's our way of solving problems? We don't have interpersonal skills anymore of coping with these kind of things. So I don't know how we get past that.
Yeah, we don't know the motive for this guy either. He's a very young guy, 23 years old, who is the killer here. At least in the bank case, because we're talking about two different cases here,
two different shootings in the same city.
And we don't know the motive for the other one either, though. But Brad, with the one you're talking about from Europe, where two rival gangs, get in a fight with knives and they start hacking at each
these
other.
Are like full-size machetes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, still, non-guns is my point. Even when I hear that, I say, well, there's a motive.
Right.
These people decided that for power or for honor or whatever
it is,
whatever they're fighting over something.
Right.
What I can't figure out, and I would probably be heralded if I could. Anybody who can will be. Why are we seeing such a dramatic increase in people deciding, you know what, my life is so worthless,
right,
that what I need to do is end it, because most of these people, they end up dead at the scene of these things.
They do.
My life is so worthless that I need to show everybody else how worthless they are, because so many of these, now again, we don't know the motive of this one, but so many of them, there's either no connection or a loose connection, where they're not targeting any individual. They're targeting some sort of institution or a place or an idea that they just want to murder people because blank. They don't know these people.
Right.
There's no fight between them and those people, you don't think. What has happened to where that is now a viable alternative to you having a bad time or bad life, whatever you want to put on it? It's happening so much.
It is. And what's really sad for me is it's creating a desensitizing of these type things. I mean, I can remember back when Columbine happened and the national outrage over those two guys bringing guns in to kill their classmates and the outrage that we had over that. And it was just a somber moment across the United States when that happened. People were so caught off guard by that happening. Now, we expect it. I mean, we're saddened when it happens, but we're not shocked anymore. I was seeing something earlier, and this gets back to a discussion that we were having off air. They are saying that so far this year, we've had 146 mass shootings. Now, when we think mass shootings, for those of us in this room, we were thinking something like this. A guy walks into a bank. A guy walks into a school, or a girl walks in Nashville and shoots a school. We were thinking that way. We thought, how is it 146? But when you look at the map that they lay out, these 146 mass shootings, the majority of them are in cities. And I think what they're counting is, drive-by shootings where you had 3, 4, 5 people shot, which is unfortunately every weekend in Chicago, every weekend in St. Louis for that matter, every weekend in Memphis, or even weekdays. People are being shot all over the place in this way. But it goes back to the fact of they think that's okay, and it's an acceptable method of how they're going to express their anger, is they're just going to take a gun and they're going to go out and shoot them. So there's an underlying problem. You can replace the weapon if you want, but you're still going to have the same thing that happens. It's answering that question of how did we get to this point? And political system has a lot to do with it. You start looking at where are we politically? How did we end up so divided? The rhetoric gets ratcheted up. People just feel like they're pushed to that. You get to your breaking point, and I would say this 23-year-old, obviously, at his breaking point when you're going to do that. When you walk into someplace and you're not coming out, or at least you've already made the decision that you're not coming out, and you go in anyway, you're past the point of help at that point. I don't think there's anything anybody's going to be able to say to you that's going to make that.
Yeah. And I would also say don't underestimate the power of a hopeless feeling.
Right.
Ryan, you were talking about what could drive somebody, and the only thing that I come back to outside of just pure unadulterated evil is hopelessness. But where the evil comes in is they want the other people to feel as hopeless as they do.
Yeah.
And in that situation, you have to exact yourself in a way where you've got a helpless victim and you're the one with all the power. So for once in your life, you don't feel helpless.
Right. And you want everybody else to feel your rage.
Right.
And because it's the only power that you have at that point.
And because you're so hopeless, you don't care what happens to you as a result of the process.
Right.
Like whatever else would happen to me will be better than whatever it is that I'm going through at this point.
And you've got to be at that point to go into like elementary schools and shoot kids. I mean, there is a special place in hell for people like that, as well there should be. And I don't want folks like that to come out on the other end. Maybe that's bad for me to say publicly, but I don't. If you walk in and you shoot a kid, I want you to get dropped right there.
It would be nice if we could get to these people before they got to that point in their lives where that was like their consideration.
It would.
If we could find them, identify them, counsel them, whatever it is, and I think to a lot of our points, I think it has a lot to do with the desensitization of our society and really lack of empathy. People don't care about people anymore.
No.
People in chat are saying this too, that we don't teach anything about a soul. We don't teach that you have one. We don't teach that others have one. You're just basically a worthless bag of meat, and you have no real value aside from the fact that you are a cosmic accident. Things just happen, and that's the way they are, and so nothing really matters. And that, we're talking about pretty deep philosophy here, but that's how deep it actually has to go for us to solve a lot of these social problems, this being one of them.
Well, you're seeing the end result of
you're seeing the
thinking.
Yeah.
Lack of hope will really get you to there, and I think Brad's on it. That's kind of where we are. So obviously praying for those folks in Louisville, both at the bank and at the school. Still have some shooters who are out there, at least one at the school that they're going to be looking for. We had a poll question of the day, the YouTube live chat poll. What is the most likely 2024 presidential matchup? Trump versus Biden, Trump versus someone else, DeSantis versus Biden, DeSantis versus someone else. There's a last chance for you to get in on YouTube. You can get your votes in there, get your comments in on the chat, and Hannah is going to look at that on the other end and give us our wrap-up on that poll today. It's a sad day yet again, another story that we've heard way too often. But here we are again, talking about that same refrain. It's the Annie Frey Show. My name is Mike Elam, sitting in for Annie today on St. Louis's home for Conservative Talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Turn me on with just a touch, baby.
On Sunday, April 16th, the Cardinals host the Pirates, and that day, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older will take home a mystery nickname jersey, courtesy of Maryville University. Throughout the seasons, players with unique nicknames have left their mark, like me, the Mad Hungarian. And the Cardinals will honor some of these players with this fun mystery jersey giveaway. That's Sunday, April 16th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
This is Paul Goldschmidt. See you at the ballpark.
Sunday, April 16th is Donate Life Day at the ballpark, presented by Mid-America Transplant. That day, the Cardinals host the Pirates, and fans who purchase a special themed ticket will receive an exclusive Cardinals cap supporting organ and tissue donation. A portion of each ticket will be donated back to support Mid-America Transplant. That's Sunday, April 16th, Donate Life Day at the ballpark. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Tyler O'Neill. Thank you for being the best fans in baseball.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, Tom's nephew. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. Learn the strategies that have helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 36 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Oh, Hank, what a wonderful spider web you have built for us. I love this fabulous space we have right here in the corner of the kitchen.
Thanks, Charlotte. I think I'll build us a vacation web in the coat closet. Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 12 days to go. Water treatment plants can get overloaded by excess water. Simply using less water helps keep oceans and rivers cleaner. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Warmer days are coming. Time to schedule your annual AC system check for as little as $15 a month. For any residential or commercial HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Andy Puzder is back with us. Inflation is still high. The interest rate hikes haven't brought it under control. We're starting to see some indication that the economy is slowing.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Is this Guns N' Roses?
No, this is Van Halen.
Let me text Annie and see if she knows.
Annie, do you know this song? I know that
No,
drum
she
beat
doesn't.
anywhere. We got a guitar riff that's coming up here in just
Oops,
a second.
I just texted Annie hot for teacher, no context. That might be a problem
Her
tomorrow.
husband's a teacher.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
doesn't make it better.
Text my wife that.
Well, it's good for her.
Yeah, text your wife that.
It's like, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, dear. Wrong person. What do you mean, wrong person?
Yeah.
Shoot.
So
No
our poll
getting out
of the
of that
day on the YouTube live chat poll. Well, Hannah, I shouldn't take your your fire here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't
New
steal
guy.
my spotlight.
Sorry, my bad.
Here we go. Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, what is the most likely 2024 presidential matchup? Trump versus Biden, Trump versus someone else, DeSantis versus Biden, or DeSantis versus someone else? Really quick around the room. What do you think? Brad?
I got DeSantis versus somebody else.
Ooh.
And I have Trump versus Biden.
And I have DeSantis versus Biden.
Ooh,
We're all different.
I'm with Ryan on this one. I unfortunately think it's going to be Trump versus Biden in 2024 again.
And I think it's going to make the entire country go, and that's going to be what you hear. Like at the water cooler, at the bars, it's going to be like, really? That's the two guys? And I think it will be those two guys.
But I think that would be Joe Manchin's best opportunity to be president.
Oh,
he
yeah.
he was running a third party, and he may actually win.
That's interesting. You don't think he's going to challenge on the Democrat side? You think he's going to
I don't think anybody's going to challenge on the Democrat
What
side.
about
Andrew Yang?
Yeah, Yang's
third party. Forward party. Have you heard about that?
I don't think Andrew Yang has any traction.
They're trying to get on the ballot in several states, though.
I don't think it's going to happen. What did our poll results say?
All right, really quick, I'll get to some comments before the results. Bob Dahl on Facebook says, likely candidates for 2024, my guess is Trump versus Michelle Obama. She will jump in to save the Dems. Oh, my.
That's frightening.
Is what he says. Scooter says, I voted Biden versus Trump, most likely scenario, knowing what we know today. Katie Matthews says, I voted Trump versus someone else because I think the Democrats will use the new precedent of charging former presidents with crimes to push Biden out for all of his family issues and put a younger Democrat.
Dem on dem crime.
So Democrats do it to Trump. Trump survives. Republicans do it to Biden. He doesn't survive. Okay.
Mike G says Trump versus Biden. Both are determined.
And okay.
Let's see here. Kenny G says, like I said before.
Kenny D, by the way.
Kenny D.
Kenny G is different.
Did I say G?
Yeah.
He's much more laid back than Kenny D.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Kenny
He's super
G
chill.
Says, like before, I said Trump versus to be determined. If DeSantis was a candidate, I would say him. KK from YouTube says Trump versus someone else. I'll get to the final results here. What is the most likely 2024 presidential matchup? Trump versus Biden, Trump versus someone else, DeSantis versus Biden, or DeSantis versus someone else? 42% of the people said it will be Trump versus someone else.
Oh, whoa, okay.
42% of people said that. 29% of the people said Trump versus Biden.
Okay.
15% say DeSantis versus someone else. 14% say DeSantis versus Biden. So people really think Trump is going to be in the race.
Trump versus someone else is the clear winner.
And they don't think Biden's going to finish.
No.
See, I think Biden's going to be the candidate because, like he said today, I'm going to announce it's just not time. We're planning on running.
Yeah.
We're just not ready to announce that
Not ready
yet.
to tell you.
You just announced it, but thanks very much. So he's going to jump in, but the longer that he waits to jump in, the less time there is for someone else to set up
I
their
forget
stuff.
who was saying that.
DeSantis has already got his infrastructure set up, and I think people are just going to get tired of the water torture of Trump and stuff going on. Here's another one. Here's another one. What's happening in New York is the first shoe. There's at least 3 more that are going to drop.
I think the opposite. I think that helps him.
I think it helps him to a point, but I think it turns after a while. So we'll see. Hey, Annie is back tomorrow, correct? Unless I get a phone call between now and then. It has been my pleasure to sit in for these last couple of days, Friday and today, last Monday as well. The next chance I have to be on this radio station is Mark Reardon on April 28th. You guys have a wonderful week. It's going to be beautiful out there. My name is Mike Elam. Always a pleasure to sit in with the fantastic people of the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Buying or selling a home is a difficult thing in any climate, in any market. But when you are in the market